Welcome, everybody, to a special breaking news edition of the Dragon's Den podcast here, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, this is a sad, disgusting, heinous, horrible day in the world of the United States politics and just in the United States in general, where we've got to resort apparently to this sort of action to where a shooter has officially tried to assassinate Donald J. Trump while he was holding a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania this afternoon. So we thought we would go live here tonight, kind of talk about everything that we know about what's been going on so far, and whether or not we can kind of decipher what's happening here, and maybe we can kind of bring you up to date with everything that's going on. So before we do that, how's everybody doing? Obviously, this is nuts. So
yeah,
to say the least. We got a few people in the comments section already. Our buddy Horton decided not to join us tonight for this one in particular for some reasons, but thank you for being in the comments section. And our friend from work, hey, Jordan as well, says, sup bitches from table number 4. This is crazy shite. I totally agree with you here 100%. We're going to get into this. Before we do anything, let's just go ahead. I'm going to be respectful as I can when it comes to some of these videos that have been leaking out. I'm not going to show anything super bloody or anything like that, because obviously a lot of this stuff is going to be very violent in nature. So, but we are going to try to show as much as we can without just showing all the disgusting details. But this is the video of Trump while he was giving a speech at his rally, where shots rang out, and apparently he was hit in the ear.
And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Yeah, just absolute chaos. I mean, we discussed a little bit before we went on the air live that this does not sound kind of like a major artillery weapon. It sounds like maybe like a 22 or something smaller in nature. It kind of just sounds like little pops. But there were even some reports initially they thought it was firecrackers going off or something to that effect. But clearly, I mean, when Trump heard it, he turned his head and the second shot rang out. That's kind of when he grabbed his ear and then he dropped. He might have even taken a shot to the body, which we're going to show here in just a little bit too. Yeah, all this stuff is just kind of coming in fast and furious. So we're trying our best to get our ducks in a row and all the facts here for you guys. But here's another angle of it from someone who was in the crowd as he was speaking. I want you to notice something in this video, which I got another shot of this as well. But look at the top of your screen. If you can see in behind Donald Trump, there are snipers up on this roof here, firing or aiming toward the actual gunman. So here is him during the speech. Another angle of it.
Took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
And that's obviously after he got back up, which we're going to show you a little bit of too. But yeah, if you can see the snipers back here, I've got a theory of what may have actually happened here, but we're going to get into that too. So this is after he went down and after he got back up. This is his act of defiance at this supposed act here.
Yeah, he's saying fight.
Yeah, fight. But I don't know if you could really hear it. He's before they wanted to take him immediately off the stage, and Trump goes, you can barely hear it, but he says, wait. And then and then he raises the fist. Fight. So that is one badass move, if you ask me.
Yes.
One of my other buddies, the other Jordan I know in my life, my buddy Jordan Lewis, who's friends with Horton, says he sounds like a rifle with a silencer. So yeah, absolutely. And our buddy Horton said that he's taking stock of his medical jump kit right now. That's what's going on with him. He also said it actually kind of recant my statement earlier. The first shot sounded like a 223 round or ish round. The second volley of shots sounds like the suppressed weapon of the Secret Service. So yeah, you can clearly see in that beginning of this video here that the Secret Service or whoever was up on the roof firing back had silencers, or at least it looked to that effect. It's kind of hard to tell, but yeah, it's very distant there. But yeah, so obviously, these shots are going to become iconic in history moving forward here. Obviously, not very many presidents or presidential candidates or former presidents are, attempted to be assassinated. So this is going to definitely be heard around the world. This shot here that initially come out right away was iconic with the United States flag in the background. It was almost like it was kind of meant to be, in some respects. But it sounds like he's okay. Sounds like he's going to be all right. He actually put out a truth post, which I'm going to show you here in a little bit, to talking about what happened. So he did mention that as well. But they tried to jail him politically. If those of you out there who think this is not intentional, you need to change your line of thinking right now. They have been trying to put this guy away by any means necessary, okay? They couldn't beat him in the election last time, so they cheated to win. If you don't believe that now, and after our show last night, I don't know what to tell you. They're going to try to cheat again to keep this guy out of office.
Do anything.
They tried to throw him in jail on some random poor booking decision charges or whatever it might be in his 34 felony accounts. Now they've tried to kill him because none of that worked. Because obviously the Supreme Court ruled against some of that, and even that sentencing for that 34 convicted trial has now been delayed. So now they're trying to kill him. So are the crazy conspiracy theorists crazy now? I mean, what else do we got to do to prove it to you guys that this is actually a thing? They don't want Trump because these guys are in power now are the ones who don't want to leave the power. Okay, seriously. I mean, and this is another shot here. If you could look closely here as Trump was being led off stage, his I can't tell. I mean, it's hard to tell. This person circled it. It looks like a bullet hole, but on further look, it looks almost like there's a person in front of him trying to protect him. This could be like a crease in his jacket mixed with the person in the foreground. I can't quite tell, but it kind of looks like maybe a bullet hole.
There's been quite a few people that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't remember who posted that one, but I thought they seemed credible, but I wasn't for sure.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff coming out right now. So some of this, we're doing our best to decipher what is real and what's not real. Now, especially when it comes to the shooter, which we're going to get into in just a second too. But this is another shot that I thought was interesting that Miranda sent me. Now, this appears to be a shot of the bullet whizzing by Donald Trump's head. It's kind of hard to see. I understand. Now, it could also maybe be like an airplane way in the distance with the, the trail line behind. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just something worth kind of showing here because it was definitely fascinating for sure. If this is a shot of the whizzing bullet, whoever took this photo, kudos to them for getting the shot. But obviously there's some more disturbing shots for sure. As he was ducking for cover, he was obviously bleeding from the ear. The first shot looked like it missed him by millimeters. The second shot clearly hit him in the head. It sounds like it hit him in the ear. And there was multiple shots after that that rang out. Plus, obviously, the shots from the actual, Secret Service probably returning fire and killing this guy, which it has, I believe it's been confirmed now he's been killed. We know for a fact. We have it sure looks like it. And obviously, we had Secret Service rush the stage. Yeah. So, I mean, and we're going to get into what we think kind of led up to this, obviously. But this, when it first happened, this was the supposed shooter. This was the supposed shooter. At first, he was identified. It said, according to this guy who posted it, Wall Street Silver on X, he said, per the Butler Police Department. So he claims he got this from the Butler Police Department, that the Trump shooter had been arrested at the scene and had been identified as Mark Violets, an Antifa member. Prior to the shooting, Mark Violets uploaded a video on YouTube claiming that, quote, justice is coming. So if that's the case, he probably did it. But at the same time, based on the photos and images we have, this may be an old photograph because the guy who looks to be killed was not this heavy. It could be the same man, but maybe he'd lost some weight for sure. This is an early video of some people who at the scene saw the dead body that was taken out by Secret Service on top of a rooftop here. So again, just forewarn you guys, some of these videos and images may be a bit graphic. So let's play this.
Lá em cima, né? Aqui, ó. You can see the guy there. I think they hit him because the guy he looks dead.
Oh, he ain't moving.
Look, I like the looks.
The what?
The guy says he looks dead.
Oh yeah, well he wasn't moving. So
what do you think?
Astute observation.
Very, very good observation there.
And obviously we've got shots now coming out, which is again, this is the shot I saw where it's like clearly if that's the same man, he's lost some weight because he looks a much thinner here. Which again, that could very well be an old photograph, so it may be accurate reporting by Wall Street Silver. But again, I'm just putting that out there that we may not know the exact identification of the shooter just yet. So I just want to put that out there. But whoever it was neutralized and taken into custody at scene, which I'm sure they don't have to worry about custody much anymore. But yeah, they did their job there. However, I honestly believe this never should have happened. Because I mean, just
Don't
if you
show that
look,
photo.
well, no, I'm not going to show what photo.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, no, even the one you just did.
Oh, well,
The one you just did.
Oh,
Prior
what
to
about
this,
it?
you can see his head.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to show anything extra
can't
graphic.
see
My
his-
apologies.
Can't see his face.
But yeah, let's see. Horton wrote in something to think about. The face and head is very vascular. Any injury to the head will bleed like crazy. Not downplaying Trump's injuries at all. Absolutely, no doubt.
Yeah.
The fact that he was, they missed him, which I'm going to get into why I think they missed him. But this was the aerial shot of the location where the shooter was and where Trump was standing at the time. He had an elevated, clear line of sight from the sounds of things here. Which is why I believe it never should have happened. This building should have been secured off to the far right of Donald Trump, no doubt.
Yeah, I think Secret Service needs to be.
Yeah, somebody needs to have a stern fucking talk.
This definitely needs to.
'Cause
Now this led to.
He shouldn't have got there.
Right, he never should have been in this line of sight for sure. I just don't know how this happened, and this is another alternate angle of where this all kind of took place here. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that this even happened to begin with is a severe breakdown in Secret Service protection. They need to up their protection if they weren't before. They definitely need to do now, for sure. I think every Trump speech going forward, every rally should be behind bulletproof glass, no doubt about it. So, I mean, we've seen this before many times with John F. Kennedy Jr.
He won't do it.
You don't think so? You don't
No,
think he'll say, well, maybe not. John, we'll talk a little
say
bit more
he's
about.
already planning on going to the fight tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna get that in a minute too. But before we get into all that, Donald Trump, or not Donald Trump, I guess there was this guy who was interviewed. I guess he spotted the shooter along with a bunch of other, civilians and bystanders. Spotted the shooter before this all took place, and apparently warned police and Secret Service about it. So let's listen to this interview.
You weren't inside the event, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. And you can see behind us at the Brinkles Farming Greenhouse here. We had a party. And we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? I mean, this is...
So... It sounds like he could have maybe even alerted Secret Service to this. To possibly prevent this from. Obviously, it could have been far worse, clearly. But if these people hadn't alerted police and Secret Service, how much worse could it have actually gotten?
When you don't learn from history, it repeats itself.
Yeah.
This looks so much like the JFK assassination,
or
the Texas Bookstore Depository. It's the same thing. They didn't have Secret Service out there. He wanted an open motorcade. It's the same thing with Trump.
According to this guy in the interview, he said that there was Secret Service on the barn behind Trump, which is what's in this photograph here. They may have already been stationed up there, and they already obviously got their weapons and ready after they got tipped off to some of this and stuff, tried to locate the shooter. But so had this guy not said something, or these people on the ground who saw the shooter beforehand, it almost makes me want to think that the shooter that took the shot at Trump had to maybe rush his shot, and maybe that's why he missed. I mean, either that or he's just a terrible shot. That could very well be the case too. But from I think it was like 150 yards out, I think they said. So in that case, whatever it may be, I think just me personally as a Christian, I'm going to probably think that's probably some divine intervention here, because I mean, he missed by millimeters. He obviously clipped him, and if he hadn't abducted, who knows what that third shot would have done? Because if you're slowly trying to get it into sight and you kind of finally move it into position, yeah, I mean, and I hope he didn't get hit anywhere else. It doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he just clipped his ear, but another couple millimeters to the right, and we're talking a whole different story right now. So yeah, I don't know. I've been shaking for like the last hour and a half trying to get this show together, because I know I had to get like a thumbnail and I had to get everything ready to roll. But it's just something you don't expect to see, especially, I mean, I know it happened to Reagan, a little bit of a different situation in that regard, but yeah, it happened to a lot of presidents and stuff like that. So it's just the first one in a very long time. Now, again, this video was going around. They were claiming it was the shooter that was being drug off the roof. Now, upon further evaluation and further review here, there was a second victim. Obviously, there was an innocent bystander at the Trump rally that apparently the bullets that whizzed past Trump ended up hitting someone else in the stands across from him that you saw in the video before. And apparently that person has been declared dead. There is a very graphic video of that person being helped off of the bleachers. This is one is not so graphic, but it's still kind of hard to watch. So like I said, viewer discretion advised here a little bit. But I mean, it's kind of hard to see with all the bodies, but they are dragging a body away. And out of respect for that, I don't want to show anymore. But we have obviously an innocent Trump supporter who has been killed because of this. And I believe it was a man. I think initial reports said it was a woman. But based on the clothing and when they were dragging him out in the other video, I do believe it was a man. Now, there was somebody, this is that video, but I'm not going to show you it. At the end of it, though, there was a person kind of standing there and getting some bottled water and stuff. And it was this man here who was being interviewed after the event. Apparently, he was an ER doctor talking about what just took place.
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's helicopter coming in to get him. So I got people there really helpful. I got him up on the bench. Shot that you saw? Then I did CPR, did chest compressions, as well as I breathed for him. One person. I was the only one who did it.
Yeah, so there were reports of a helicopter coming in. There was some initial fear that it could be for Donald Trump, but apparently it was for this poor victim here for sure. Like I said, it sounds like Donald Trump is perfectly fine. Well, not perfectly fine, but all things considered, he's doing well. But yeah, I mean, guys, this is what happens when you push violent rhetoric. And there is no consequences for the misinformation. All you Democrats who may be watching this, you could justify, the rhetoric that the left has been pushing all you want, but clearly it's led to people now who feel like they have to take this into their own hands because they honestly believe the lies that you've been telling them that Donald Trump is Adolf Hitler. You push that shit, and this is what happens, okay? And every side of politics, which should never get to this radical extreme, they're evil, vindictive people. Now, however, I am starting to think that the left clearly is. I mean, I'm going to show you some evidence to that, and that's been going on for a while. But only if it's true. The left is pushing all this stuff, and it's clearly not. They've taken Donald Trump out of context for years, and they continue to do it. They're right now pushing the Project 2025 hoax. They've been pushing him, and all that stuff that's supposedly in that would be dictatorial for Donald Trump. Donald Trump had the presidency for 4 years, and he did nothing to that effect. So these people who are believing these lies are not right in the head. They're sick. And this is the type of people that it produces, people who feel like they have to go to this extreme. And we're not the first ones to say this. This is another man. You may recognize him. His name's Tucker Carlson, who has been vilified by everybody in the media. And he's been saying that the left and Democrats are going to try to kill Donald Trump. And, well, this man's been proven correct. Here's something he once said.
I mean, graph it out, man. we're speeding toward assassination, obviously, and no one will say that. But I don't know how you can reach that conclusion. You know what I mean? Like, they have decided, permanent Washington, both parties have decided that there's something about Trump that's so threatening to them they just can't have him. I mean, they're putting him on trial in March of next year in the J6 case, which basically consists of trying to send him to prison for the rest of his life for complaining about the last election. That's literally what it is. Again, if this were happening in Moldova, the State Department would issue an all-hands-on-deck order to let the world know this is not a legitimate government. And yet our government is doing it. It's like it's hard to overstate how bad this is. And I don't know where it's going, but there's a collision that's clearly imminent. And by the way, the president is senile in a way that's impossible to deny. Biden's not running the government, you know? So, like, I don't know. I've never been this worried about anything as I am about where this is going.
Now, he said this last year. I believe that January 6th trial has now been postponed. It may be pretty well done altogether based on the presidential immunity stuff that's been passed and things like that. So he's been calling for this for a while. Not calling for it to happen, but calling that it could happen is what I'm saying. And he was fired from Fox for this sort of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
Why did they fire him? Was it because he was getting too close to the truth? I mean,
was he right?
Apparently, it sure
I mean,
as
he
hell
seems
looks
right.
like it.
He seems pretty right today, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Somebody,
This is oh, go ahead.
you want to talk about a scapegoat for Fox? That's what Tucker was. Tucker
Yeah.
was a scapegoat for Fox.
Yeah, he was.
He got fired because they knew he was right, but they couldn't say he was right, so they just fired him.
Yeah, Jordan Harrison also commented and said, "Amen. He absolutely needs to be protected at this point in case somebody else comes to finish the job. Lord help us." Yeah, that's the scary thing. How many other people are out there now that have been listening to this Democratic violent rhetoric, which I'm going to get into in just about a couple seconds here, and are actually believing this, and they're going to take their shot. No pun intended. You really got to start thinking about that sort of thing. Now, Donald Trump come out on his Truth social account and posted about this whole incident just recently here. He said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that just took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family of another person that was badly injured." No details that I know about on that one. We'll have to keep an eye out for it. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter, who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong and that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized that was what was happening. God bless America. So this man's a trooper. Again, if you don't like Donald Trump, that's totally your choice, I suppose. You have that right. But nothing justifies this. Nothing.
Nope.
I don't care. No. I don't like Joe Biden's policies, but I'm not out there trying to shoot the old man.
No.
Yeah.
Nothing. And you can't. Donald Trump does not have to do this. He could literally go back to Mar-a-Lago.
He already said that.
Yeah.
Spend the rest of his days enjoying his money and his family, his grandkids, by the way. God, be with them this evening because Pawpaw just got shot.
Yeah.
So those of you who are out there who may be on the fence, or even if you're not on the fence, if you're a Democrat right now, do you support this shit? If you do, get the hell out of our country.
Yeah.
This is not the way to handle stuff. And as much as I think this is bullshit, even your beloved Democrats are saying the same thing. Here is Joe Biden's response after about an hour and a half after the fact. He finally addressed the situation.
Well, I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And so I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. So far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that there's thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do. Okay.
Mr. President, do you think this was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough to. I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
Are you worried, President, with the security failing, Mr. President?
The thing that bugs me about this is clearly an assassination attempt.
Clearly.
I mean, what are we waiting on? Like, what it is the left media, the leftist media, CNN, MSNBC, they don't want to call it out for what it is. They just don't.
Nope.
And we're going to get that a little bit more here in just a second. But Barack Obama, they didn't want it to happen because they knew if this happened, it was probably going to doom their chances. We'll talk. Yeah. Barack Obama also tweeted, there's absolutely no place for political violence in our democracy. Although we don't yet know exactly what happened. We kind of do, though. We should all be relieved the former President Trump wasn't seriously hurt and use this moment to recommit ourselves to civility and respect in our politics. Michelle and I are wishing him a quick recovery. Well, that's all well and dandy, but
fingers at them. I mean, because
everybody knew what happened when it happened. So don't sit here and say we don't know.
I would take more of this as sincere if they hadn't spent the last 4 years pushing this violent rhetoric against Donald Trump and labeling him as this dictator, this king, this authoritarian, which isn't true. And even 5 days ago, now granted, 5 days ago, Biden told donors on a private call on that afternoon, it's time to put Trump in the bullseye. That kind of wording could be very mistaken by a lot of people out there, especially a lot of crazy kooks who really want to take Trump out, who believe this bullshit y'all have been spreading. Now, do I probably believe that Biden maybe meant it the way it came out? I don't know. But at the same time, they've been saying things like that. Politicians push this rhetoric all the time. We got to fight like hell. That's what they said. Donald Trump said before January 6th, we got to fight like hell. He was pushing violent rhetoric. But a lot of politicians say fight like hell. They don't mean literally go out there and fight. You know what I mean? So I don't know if he meant we need to literally put him in the crosshairs, but poor word usage. No doubt about it.
No, he didn't. But if you can sit here and say you called Trump,
they put it out there,
insurrectionist or a guy who incited a riot by saying fight like hell, then you could damn sure say this applies in the same.
Yeah.
I mean, Miranda, they've been trying to do this for years now. This is not something new.
Yeah.
Let's just get
this is something that should have been seen.
Yeah, well, I'm going to show you in just a second after we get to this comment from my friend Jordan. He said, old Joe doesn't know his own last name sometimes, so it doesn't surprise me that he didn't know if it was an assassination attempt or not. So that's very possible, too.
That's true.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, I woke up from a snap like, what?
Yeah, what happened? Yeah, that may be why he didn't respond for an hour and a half for sure. They love to get on to Donald Trump. Well, January 6th, he didn't respond for 2 hours or something like that. But Joe didn't, and none of the Democrats come out and condemn this right away either.
But that's my point. Why won't they? Why won't they say that?
They're going to say, "Well, we were waiting for all the, all the evidence to come out before we said anything."
You can't wait.
But anybody with two eyes and a brain saw when that first video dropped live on air, wherever it was airing on YouTube, that was clearly bullet shots being fired at Donald Trump.
Eric,
there's no investigation that needs to happen here.
These are American lives. They put American lives in danger. There's no holding back information about that.
Well, and it makes a lot of people wonder about, because obviously, people were like, well, the Secret Service, wasn't in position at the time. It had a lot of people also speculating that, is there a breach in Trump's Secret Service protection? Could they be involved? They need to definitely be thoroughly investigating that too, to see if maybe some CIA or FBI involvement's involved here too. We don't know if this was just a random person or if this was actually an operative sent by the left and Democrats to take out their political opponent. That's an accusation. Like I said, we don't know for sure, but I'm just saying it's a possibility. We need to at least consider that as an option. That's all I'm saying. So if that's the case, they really need to look about what they're actually doing here and whether or not this is worth it, because it's not. But this is a compilation now of Democrats and those on the left. It's only about 48 seconds, but this is a bunch of left-wing politicians and people on the left saying violent rhetoric over the last few years toward Donald Trump. So this may be what kind of caused all this and led up to this sort of incident. So let's watch that.
I said, no. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Too many see the protests as the problem. Please, show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Go to the Hill today. Get up in the face of some Congress people.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
Running away from Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
When they go low, we kick.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
So they want to say that Donald Trump is the violent person here. The violent rhetoric is coming from the right. No, it's not. You literally just saw, and there was a few that weren't even in there. Madonna has come out and said she'd love to. She thought about blowing up the White House when Trump was in office. Johnny Depp come out and said, "When's the last time an actor has assassinated a president?" You had Kathy Griffin in this video holding up the severed, bloody head of Donald Trump.
Yep.
You've had Snoop Dogg, who now, ironically, is out in support of Donald Trump because of Joe Biden's terrible policies. Snoop Dogg, in one of his videos, put a bullet in a mannequin of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. This sort of shit is what causes what we saw today.
Yep.
Don't talk to me about the right being the violent rhetoric and pushing all this stupid shit. No, it's the left who's been perpetuating this for 8 bloody years now since Donald Trump won the election. I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't. And this is CNN today, right after the shooting. CNN was already in force downplaying this assassination attempt with their headline saying Trump was injured in an incident at the Pennsylvania rally. They won't call it what it is. It's not an incident. They would refuse to put assassination attempt in their headlines. They won't do that. This is another one which is even more egregious. Secret Service rushes to Trump off stage after he falls at rally. Why the hell do you think he fell? Are you still trying to push the whole nonsense that he's feeble and weak and physically? I mean, because that's bullshit. I mean,
you damn sure can't say that shit now.
No, you can't. No,
I mean, Horton wrote, of course, it was an hour and a half since Biden, before he responded because Matlock and Golden Girls were on. He had to catch up on those shows real quick. So, yeah, I mean, I don't want to hear it from those on the left at all here. Not only that, this again, I don't know how true this is, so take it for a grain of salt. But we just saw 2 articles, the headlines where they were downplaying the whole thing that happened at this assassination attempt. This is supposedly secret instructions that were given out to news reporters, telling them to downplay the Trump assassinated attempt. These people at CNN are evil. It states, hello, reminder to stick to the facts. Don't speculate, editorialize, sensationalize, or jump to conclusions when reporting on the Trump rally incident today. Don't call it assassination attempt unless authorities say that it is. Don't say a shooting targeting Trump or the rally unless authorities confirm that connection. Clarify if it's actually gunshots. That's unclear at the moment. If authorities don't know, then it's okay to say that. Anchors, reminder to be mindful of body language when presenting the story. No need for serious face or adding comments and adjectives for color. No need to say, quote, scary moment today at the Trump rally just to get the story. At this moment, there's no need for guests to comment. Again, all this is a reminder. I know we all know. So if this is true, and they were sending this out to news outlets to downplay this. Now, I fully understand you want to make sure you get all the facts before you report. I get that. But like I said, you knew immediately what this was. And they are trying to say, no, it's not that big a deal. It's okay. He's fine. Nothing to see here. That way, if this happens again, it's perfectly,
I just don't understand why they can't say assassination attempt.
Because obviously whoever tried to shoot him was probably on the left or a Democrat who's lost their mind. That's why.
Why can't they say it?
Because that's the side that they support.
Every attempt in history, they have said it. Why can they not say it here?
Because the news is in the tank with the left
go.
Democrats. That's exactly what it is.
I mean,
and we've been saying
do you agree with me?
Yeah, I fully agree.
Brandon, do you agree with me?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well,
I'm just
saying.
like, dude, there's so much. Like,
it's so much crap in this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're pissed. I mean, I was much more pissed before we got on live. I had about an hour. I had to cool down.
I mean, it took a lot for me to
calm down. I'm pissed, but I'm so over it. Like, how much more has to fucking happen before my neighbor takes down her Biden sign?
Again,
there are still people supporting this shit, and
I don't know how you can.
To be fair, full transparency. If this was Joe Biden that got shot at, I'd be just as pissed.
Yeah.
Let's put that. Let's get that straight right now. I'm a Trump supporter, yes, but I don't care who's in the office of presidency. You respect that damn office.
Yes.
You don't have to like the person in it, or you don't even have to like the person who are running in it. This is not the way we do things in America. Period.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. Full stop. I don't want to hear it any more of it.
Yep. Goodbye. The end.
The end. And apparently, speaking of CNN kind of downplaying it, right after it happened, this is actually on the air on CNN. This is what a reporter on the air said to kind of downplay it. So listen to what was said here.
Donald Trump and the people around him perceive themselves to be under threat, and that's all that matters. That is not legitimate. That is wrong. You hear the screams from the audience. People are terrified. Donald Trump.
So they say that we're not under legitimate threat. What the hell was that today then?
Eric, he was shot at.
Yeah, that's a legitimate threat. Don't talk to me about, oh, it's all in our head. We're just, crazy conspiracy theorists. We all think it's in our head. No, we don't. Okay. Jordan Lewis said they can't say assassination attempt because it makes him a victim. And until now, the left has Trump as the instigator of violence. 1,000% correct.
Yep. Agreed.
So they can't say that because now they are the hypocrites, which we all knew. Anybody who had a brain knew this.
Yes. Yeah, this was known before.
Aaron said, I'm worried a radical right may respond to this in some manner. Let's hope not.
I please do not
because
do that.
The radical right is the ones that were out last weekend in Nashville. Was it Nashville?
Supposedly, but
the ones that look like feds.
Yeah, a lot of people.
U-Haul trucks.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that was, a Fed operation. It's not really conservatives. There's a lot of people who think that people are trying to make the right look bad right now, and that was one of those.
Oh
yeah.
Because again,
a shitty job at it though.
You look at the history of everything from political violence that's gone on. Okay, especially in the last 8 years. Okay, let's just take since Trump was elected. Only one time did the right get out of control, and that was January 6th. And a lot of people think,
and that wasn't even.
And a lot of people think that wasn't exactly what the news and the Democrats and the left have tried to spin it to be either. If you look at some of the videos, they could have been instigated by Capitol Police. Even Capitol Police said they were set up. They were not being violent. They had no weapons on them. But yet, yes, there's some things that did get out of control. But what caused it all is still very up for debate. So that is the one time, 2020, the BLM riots and all the Antifa and all this sort of stuff that was going on in Portland and stuff like that. That was all the radical left. Don't talk to me about the right with the political violence. Period.
Eric, this is this, but you know what? This right here, this proves Trump.
Right.
True. It just
100% right.
And here's why: because if they weren't so scared of him, if he wasn't going to do the right thing for this, the left is so scared that they're going to do the right thing. Everybody doesn't want them to do the right thing.
Well, the stupid thing is
make the country good. They don't want to get better. They think things to get worse.
Well, they're scared, but the fact that a lot of the left, like Democrat voters, they're scared because they've had fear pushed upon them for the last 8 years.
Yes.
Saying, he's cheated in the election, Russia, all this sort of stupid nonsense. He's Hitler. But the thing is, the leftist politicians, they all know this ain't true.
Yes.
They just don't like him because of his policies that actually helps America. That's the thing. They don't want to help America. The Democrats, all the Democrats, and a lot of Republicans don't want to help America.
They've scared them to a point where that this has happened today. Yep. This is where we are today, and it's sad.
I mean, they claim to be about you. They want to help you, the working class and the people of the United States. That's bullshit. The only ones in Congress and the Senate and the president, nobody in the presidency right now, actually want to help Americans are the America First,
yes,
MAGA, Republicans, the ones who don't agree with the rest of the Republican rhinos who just want to vote with Democrats and Joe Biden. That's what we call the establishment, the deep state, the ones who don't want to get rooted out of power.
Extremists, these leftists, that this is what has happened. Is you got one of these guys that have had that propaganda pushed on him and pushed on him for so many years that person finally snapped and decided to take matters in his own hands. And thank God former President Trump was saved. I mean, thank God that has happened. And I pray for their family because it's sad. It's truly sad that this is what we're talking about tonight.
Now, again, when the right criticizes Biden and the Democrats, it's because of policy. It's because of what they do when they're in office. It's because, Joe Biden may have dementia. We're concerned legitimately, but at the same time, we've been telling you this forever, so we're a bit angry about it too, and you just won't believe us. We're telling you now that what they're trying to do is take out this man because they don't like him because of his policies, and like we mentioned before. There's a difference between what the right is doing and what the left is doing. The left perpetuate lies, pass them out as fact. The very fine people on both sides hoax, the bloodbath hoax, the suckers and losers hoax. I could go down a whole podcast for an hour of all the stuff they push and continue to push day in, day out about Donald Trump, which I can verifiably prove to you that it's not true.
Yep.
And then they wonder why did someone shoot at Donald Trump? I wonder why. This is why.
Miranda, this is what I'm saying is they couldn't get him in prison. They couldn't get him out in the open. They tried to impeach him. They tried
everything. Now everything.
And if you think
now today I'm going to use the word because that's what it is. Now today they've tried to assassinate him.
That's exactly
because that's what it is.
And if you think this is the only time they're going to try, you're nuts.
Oh yeah, I know. This is
the fact that they didn't get him this time. They're going to try again.
Oh yeah.
Whether that be if they can finally get him in jail and pull a Secret Service, as Congress wanted to do, by the way, they tried to pass legislation to do that.
Yes, they did.
And now that court case got pushed back because of the presidential immunity ruling in the Supreme Court. Now they tried this.
And I want to know why. I want to know why that after today, I want to know why that was pushed back. I want to know the answer why.
Well, it was because of the immunity case. It there was some evidence that was introduced during the 34 felony counts case that could now be covered under presidential immunity. That's part of it.
Yeah.
So if they have to reopen the case a little bit and take that evidence out because you can't use that in a court of law now, he may not end up with those 34 convictions after all said and done. So if that's the case, he may not be convicted anymore. But chances are Judge Merchan's probably going to try to convict him anyway because he's a left-wing judge who got paid off and that sort of shit. But yeah, that's part of it.
Of course.
Not only that, they pushed it to September, which is right before the election.
Any way they can.
I mean, pushing it to September right before the election also takes a little bit of heat off Hunter Biden, as well as puts the heat on Donald Trump's court trial as well. So it kind of puts it right into the forefront of the election.
That's what I was saying earlier.
That's the whole point of it.
First time that political enemies have gotten pushed during their in-between campaigns, where they were pushed to a person having another radical leftist shooting another former president. And this is not the first time that this has happened in American history.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I apologize if I'm going crazy, but you know what? This is what I told Matt before the show started. This is what I call the Jesus flipping the tables over moment.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah. For those of you who know the Bible, Jesus had righteous anger. It was not sinful. He was mad at what they were doing in the marketplace, and they were, betting and placing wagers and things like that. He flipped the table over. This is the moment where right-wing people, conservatives, have a legit reason to be angry. And the stuff that they've been angry about over the last 4 years that the right or the left and the Democrats have been pushing, this is now coming out tonight. And that's why I'm on such a, soapbox, as some people might call it. But you know what? I don't care.
But Eric, everyone should be angry. This is not just a right being angry. This should be everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
This should involve everyone.
We had a comment from Owen County Weather Updates. Thank you for watching. They said they heard it was an AR-15. Very well could have been. Especially that would lend to the credence to Horton's theory about how it was a 223 round. If that's the case, that is the type of round you could use in that gun. I know I own one. So if that's the case, very well possibly is the truth. We'll have to wait and see all the details. We're going to come out eventually on that.
We don't have any details on it yet.
But again, it does not mean, and hopefully the left and Democrats are probably going to say, well, we need to push gun control now. But
that's immediately what Biden said.
Yeah.
And again, that's not an assault rifle. AR does not stand for assault rifle. It stands for Armalite
What
rifle.
stopped the assailant?
Well, yeah, a good guy with a gun.
There you go.
Exactly. So yeah,
End of
exactly
story.
right.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Horton said he's not saying it wasn't warned, and he absolutely agrees, I'm sure. But yeah, it's definitely now to add to that anger, though. Of course, as always, there's idiots on the left, as we pointed out here, who were actually sad that this didn't end in worse circumstances. We're sad.
That is wild to me.
This was what was trending on.
Crazy to me.
This is what was trending on X. You had one job, 27,000 posts. How did you miss 6,538 posts? They missed. This is your left-wing Democratic voters mad and upset that they missed Donald Trump and didn't kill him.
They hit him. They would be having a different conversation right now.
Yeah.
I agree with
I agree with Owen County weather updates. Evil demons. I think I know who this is actually, but I don't want to say his name live on air. But anyway, thank you for watching. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, if that's the case, these people deserve a fiery spot in the pit of hell. They really do. I mean, I don't care what side of the political party line you fall on. This is not okay. Period. End of story. And we also got a video of somebody posted by Libs of TikTok. If you don't follow them on X or all their social media accounts, please do that. This is a person who is a Democrat, I believe. I haven't heard this video yet. Supposedly mad that they missed Donald Trump.
Just found out about this shit. It just happened. I haven't even had a second to process. You're telling me somebody finally had the balls to bring a pew-pew and he missed? We were a second away. We were a centimeter away from half of the problem being gone, and you missed. There was a white man attached to that trigger. I know it. We were a centimeter away.
Who effing cares what the race of the person was who pulled the trigger? I don't care if it was a white person, a black person.
Yeah, I don't know why that mattered, but
it doesn't fucking matter. But to these people, if it's a white person behind the gun, it's evil, apparently. Every single time. No, could it be the fact that he pulled the damn trigger and tried to kill a president or former president was the evil act? Jesus Christ.
The fact is, there's also somebody who died because of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 people died. The shooter, yeah. And another one was severely injured, critically injured from what President Trump said, I think, or somebody mentioned it. So, yeah, these are the type of people who are voting for Joe Biden. So, again,
knocking on her door.
So, again, if you are a Democratic voter, I'm not saying I won't be friends with you with this post here, but I will say if you condone this attempted attack tonight, delete me now. Stop following this channel. Get off my X, get off my Facebook, anything that you follow me on. I don't want anything to do with you. Yeah. Flat out. Because there's a difference between not, agreeing politically and morally thinking this is okay.
It is not okay.
Yeah, I'd love to know what Tony thinks of this right now.
But I mean, anybody who thinks this is a good idea, no. You're evil, flat out.
Yep.
Evil.
Yeah.
I'm just fit to be tied right now. I don't know what to say about it. Yeah, Aaron said, what honestly did Trump do to this woman? Name me one policy that, don't try to say, oh, he tried to take women's rights. No, he didn't. I'm sorry. The Roe v. Wade being overturned, first of all, he didn't do. Yes, he appointed the Supreme Court judges who made the decision, and all they did was put it back to the states. They didn't remove your right to go do that. You may have to go to a different state to do it or whatever. And he's already said he would not sign a national abortion ban. So that right there, no. So,
even though he should, because it's evil.
Well, that's whatever you believe for sure. But yes, I mean,
throw that in there.
No justification.
I don't know. I just don't. Anybody who just thinks that this is a good idea, I can't stress this enough. If you're going to try to shoot somebody, we're not on the same planet. We're not.
No.
So
no, we're not.
If you're a Democrat, I will happily disagree with you as long as you can be rational, as long as you can have a good conversation with me and discuss why, in a civil manner, why you disagree. But then if I tell you and kind of debunk what you're saying is true, a lot of times when that happens with somebody I talk to, many people, I talk to a lot of people who do this, but at times, sometimes I'll present them with the actual facts of the video to prove what they've been saying about Donald Trump is wrong. And then either they will walk away, they'll call me a name, or they just will go silent because they don't know how to respond to the light bulb going off in their head going, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, very rarely. I've maybe in a few instances.
Or they just don't want to hear it.
Well, and maybe in a few instances I've had Democrats will talk to me and they'll give me a convincing argument. I'm like, okay, that's a good, it's worth contemplating, thinking about more. But that's rare. Most of the time, it's either their way or the highway. And if you don't agree with them, you're Hitler, you're evil.
Yep.
That's where we have to change here in this country. But unfortunately, voters can do that to some degree, I think. But politicians, they're too far gone. Like I said, the Democrats on the left and most of the Republicans, they just want power. And they don't like now when Donald Trump and the MAGA America First, who want to actually do things for this country and not to line their own political pockets, when they come in here and try to screw that up, now this is the links they'll go to. They did the same thing with John F. Kennedy, Reagan, and many times before.
Yep.
Many times before. A lot of people think that's what 9/11 was all about. A lot of people think that's why the Titanic maybe went down. Things like that. Federal Reserve stuff. I mean, there's all sorts of theories out there. You can call them conspiracy theories if you want, but at the end of the day, some of these line up and make a lot of sense.
The JFK conspiracy. I mean, me and my wife, we talked about it a couple days ago. I mean, it just, the time period like it was in the 60s is the same as it is now. One side pushing the other, one side doesn't agree, and what do? They go to extreme nature.
Yep.
They go to extreme force to the point where I just can't even fathom that somebody has tried this. That's where I'm at. I'm still processing, fathoming that someone would try this.
Now, and most likely it's probably, like I said, a Democratic voter believe in all this nonsense.
Yes,
and obviously it probably wasn't orchestrated by the Democratic Party. But again, I'm just saying you can't rule that out.
You can't at this point. You can't.
Especially with the stuff with JFK and all this stuff before. Clearly, a lot of people believe the government was involved. So,
I mean, isn't one of the Kennedy's relatives even in this race?
He's technically running as an independent. Robert.
He's running as an independent, is he not?
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
But he's not going to have the backing probably to go the whole way. He'll probably be on the ballot, maybe, but again, he's probably not going to get the votes. But he could drive enough votes away from
same
Biden.
family.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just think that's too strange to me.
I'd be interested to know his opinion on this whole thing. I'm sure that'll come out in the coming
days.
days.
I would like to hear what he says.
But yeah, I mean, again, this is just, it's nothing new. If you really follow back through history and see that's how it's been attempted before, you really start to connect the dots. It really makes you think a little bit.
A lax in Secret Service is the same way that they got JFK.
Yeah.
It's the same way.
Not only did we have reactions from a few of those on the left, like I said, I don't have a lot of them to pull up like on TikTok or anything like that, but the fact that it was trending is scary enough. But we have some reactions to some conservatives as well. Here's Kid Rock, who is an ardent Trump supporter, which may be with Trump tonight at the UFC fight. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But here's Kid Rock's response.
You fuck with Trump, you fuck with me.
Yeah.
So the American badass himself coming out basically laying down the gauntlet here. So yeah, a lot of Americans right now are pissed, and righteously so. Like I said. This is, I believe this, I don't know who this person is particularly. It's posted by Gunther Eagleman, but it says from Robert Frank. So I don't know exactly who this is, but another big dude you probably wouldn't want to piss off. So here you go.
Saturday, I know it's normally armed dead, but I felt like doing chest. Then all of a sudden, Twitter starts blowing up. My text started blowing up. Did you see what happened with Trump? I went back and I watched it. He gets shot in the head. I don't know, BB gun, 22. I don't know what it was. I don't know guns like that, but all I know, he goes down and then he gets right back the fuck up and he pumps his fist before he gets escorted off stage. That is a legend, that is a boss, and that is a big fuck you to anybody trying to take him out. So Donald Trump, this chest day is dedicated to you.
My man.
Fuck
Yo, he is.
Oh, he ended that with,
wow.
with Eminem. Eminem. Nice little shot there. Obviously, Eminem got into a little bit of a battle with Candace Owens, tried to tell her how to live her life as a black woman, even though Eminem is white as Slim Shady can be, which is stupid as shit. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. This was also a UFC fighter by the name of Evan Elder, I guess was in a fight during the time that Trump got shot, and I guess he heard about it afterwards, and this is what he had to say in his post match interview.
Hey, I heard they just tried to whack my boy Trump. I'm glad that man's okay. Long live Trump. Let's go, baby. Trump 2024.
Denver, let's hear it for Evan Elder.
Hey, I heard.
Yeah, so lot of supporters in UFC. Obviously, Trump is a big time UFC fan. Horton also wrote in and said Robert Frank is an exercise influencer on social media, so that's who that was. So thank you for that, Horton. I appreciate the insight. So now there were reports going around from Charlie Kirk and many that were saying President Trump still intends to attend tonight's UFC fights. I'm sure Secret Service is going no, but at this point, Trump's a badass, man. He's going to come up there with his ear wrapped up, and he's probably going to go out there because people there love him. I mean, every time he comes out for a UFC fight, it's a standing ovation. Comes out to American Badass by Kid Rock. Dana White's going to be right there. He's going to have security probably on him far more.
Philadelphia.
I don't know exactly where it's at, but I imagine it to be somewhere nearby. I have to look that one up. But
he was in Philadelphia when the attempt occurred. Correct.
He was in Pennsylvania. It was Butler, Pennsylvania.
Butler, Pennsylvania.
Hey, I have been there.
Have you really? Okay.
2 weeks in Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I used to go to Butler, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I agree with Aaron. He's not scared.
It was right across the.
Well, you clearly tell he was defiant when he stood up and gave that fist bump to the crowd. Because once he has a chance to calm down, I'm sure his heart was racing through his chest at this point. Mine was racing just here watching this shit.
His wife and kids are genuinely with him at these rallies.
I hope they weren't there on that one.
I really do. I really hope they weren't there.
I
really hope his family was not there to witness that.
That's crazy.
I just don't know what to say. I'm a little bit exhausted from the screaming I'm doing here, but I can't wrap my mind around if you condone this, just stop. For all that's good and holy, stop. If you don't agree with Trump's policies, fine. But no.
Settle that shit in the ballot booth. This is crazy.
Say your piece and then shut up about it, because there's nothing else you can really do at this point. If you want to complain, it's not going your way, fine, do whatever. But anyway, that was the last thing I had on the slides. But I guess we could check and see if there's anything new that's been dropping here. But yeah, this is just
a lot of them are memes and hit songs right now.
Yeah, a lot of. I'm sure there's a lot of things out there. People saying all sorts of stuff. Hopefully we'll get more as well when it comes to the actual facts.
50 Cent even got involved.
Who did?
50 Cent even got involved.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, you said that thing earlier.
It's just I can't believe the extreme nature of it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong.
That's what bothers me about it, Miranda. Yeah. Is that they're shooting at him. They're so desperate. I know it doesn't surprise me either. But
we've been saying it.
They're shooting
me and Miranda, or especially on our social medias, we've been saying this forever.
Yeah.
And we've been called crazies.
Crazy.
God knows what else. Conspiracy theorists, cultists.
Well, it's not a conspiracy now.
It never was. But it's now got to that point
now,
where nothing else is working against him. Either it's whether it be a voter or the Biden administration or the Department of Defense or whoever it was who did this, feels they have to go to this length.
This won't be the last time.
But you know what I can't get?
They will do this again.
Aside from the pedophiles and the criminals, life is going to be better for everybody once he comes back into office. Even these leftist nut jobs are going to have a better life.
Yeah. A lot of them will flat out admit that their lives were better under Trump due to his policy. But they will still vote for Biden. Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's this fascist. He's this guy. He had 4 years to do all this shit previously.
Yeah, exactly. He could have done all this. But you got to remember, too, Donald Trump had the Republican House and the Senate, and Trump still didn't do all this.
This is what I'm saying. He was already there. If he was, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Owen County weather updates. I know who it is, but I won't say his name just in case he wants me to. But there is news circulating that the attacker was marked violent, we mentioned it earlier. Like I said, we don't know for certain, but that was the news going around initially. The pictures didn't look like it lined up, but it could have been the same man. We'll just have to wait to see if all that plays out to be absolutely true. I just don't want to put out false information on here. Because unlike some people, I like to tell the truth. So if it's wrong and it's false, I like to correct that on the
Correct.
channel here and on my social medias and things like that. I don't post things just willy nilly. I try to look into them before I do it.
I just can't believe somebody tried it.
Yeah,
That's right. I can't believe.
There's definitely photos out there which I will not show here of the dead shooter. Very violent. It's showing a picture of his head. It's very awful. So if you want to look at them bad enough, you can find them on X and things like that, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just well, yeah, and this kind of goes to our points. This I found this on X just now. But Democrats don't get their way; they get dangerous. Abraham Lincoln is another good example.
Yep.
They tried to end slavery. Remember, Abraham Lincoln and the Republican Party was formed to end slavery, and Democrats did not like it. The parties did not flip. That is a left-wing conspiracy theory. Tried to get you to vote for them, and no, they are still the racist assholes they were back then.
They were back then,
just as much as they are today. Don't buy that nonsense for sure. Let's see here. We got a couple of comments coming in here. Jordan Lewis says a source familiar with Trump's security detail tells FDR LST on X that the former and future president's detail has been asking for beefed up protection and resources for weeks, but they have been rebuffed.
Yeah.
Again, check your security details. There may be compromised. If that's true, yeah, that's insane. Time and again by Biden's DHS. Oh, it's been rebuffed by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. So there, what does that tell you? Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
Apparently, the Biden Secret Service detail wasn't responsive to those requests for more resources. The source said. So yeah, if that's the case,
I mean, these people have been going on for weeks trying to code name or hint that they want to get rid of him because he was way ahead of him at the debate.
Yeah,
that's my theory. And let me tell you, you can call me crazy if you want to. But he looked way better than him at the debate.
Was Biden's regime behind the attack, or did it deliberately do everything it could to allow it to happen? Very good question.
That is the question I'm asking.
If they were involved in his Secret Service detail, which I'm pretty sure they do provide the current administration, because obviously they wouldn't provide it to Robert F. Kennedy, by the way, if you didn't know that. Robert F. Kennedy, who was running for president, he asked for Secret Service detail. It was denied by Biden's administration. So,
which that's a little strange. Too.
He tried to challenge Biden. So again, you want to talk about Trump being the dictator? Do you think Trump? I don't recall any stories of Trump denying Biden's Secret Service detail when he ran against him in 2020.
That is a huge red flag.
But no, keep telling me how Trump's the dictator and doesn't want to leave power. Joe Biden could step down right now due to his senility. Guess who's refusing to step down? It ain't Trump. It's Joe frickin' Biden right now. So again, keep talking. Say what you want. But as we go further and further along here, it's being proven more and more and more based on this evidence that the Democrats are everything they tell you that Trump and conservatives and Republicans are. And we've been saying that. We've been screaming that to the hill for a long time. But again, we're the crazy ones here on YouTube and on X and all this stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, it's just sad, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is the place we're at in this country. We're really not in... They want to say a democracy. We've always been a constitutional republic, but this is beyond the pale at this point. I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. You guys have anything else you want to talk about?
It's just, since a lot of this stuff is still just coming in, you're still trying to figure out what is what, but it's fucking insane. Like it's really...
And all I'll say is this: if we all kind of thought Donald Trump would win by a landslide before. Assuming everything was on the up and up and they don't cheat again. He should win by handily a landslide victory there.
Yes.
All I know is now if they don't cheat again, which now they're going to have to cheat even farther if that's the case, he should win almost every state after this. He should, but I don't know if he will. But yeah, if you're voting for Biden after this, what are you thinking? I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Oh, well, Trump, said this, or, he praised dictators. Not really. He just, pointed out the fact that they were smart, or, he called, I guess, Putin a genius, or, he called Xi Jinping a fierce. That's not praise. It's just pointing out a fact. They're smart people. Hitler was a smart man. No, yeah, he was. That's not praise. He's just pointing out a fact.
I can't believe that the Secret Service didn't rebuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
you got to be smart enough to pull off what he pulled off, and he pulled it off. So.
It's like Nancy Pelosi. She's an idiot, but she's
smart,
a billionaire or a millionaire.
Yeah,
she's smart in the freaking stock market, right?
Democrats are very smart.
Trade
The establishment and this government is very smart, but that doesn't make them good at all.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the left probably say the same about Trump, but again, did you see this happening to Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton? No. I mean, come on, guys, use your freaking head. This is, I don't know what to say.
I mean, Clintons are the worst about any of it.
Oh yeah, Clintons have no. Maybe they were behind it for all we know.
They killed more people than the mafia.
Yeah. Hold on.
I mean, the only difference is usually the Clintons hit their mark. So
Hold on. Check
you know,
hold on. Check the chat. Check the chat, Eric. The Facebook chat.
Oh, okay.
There's a picture in there from Horton.
Okay.
I think he took it out.
Oh.
Did he?
Maybe not.
That's fine.
There
But,
was one.
Yeah,
there was one.
All right, we don't have to. But yeah, I mean, I just don't know what else I have to say to people. It's like, tell me why. Tell me why you're voting for Joe. I mean, what? I mean, he tries to tout fake policies that are successful, but yet every time I ask a Democrat and I tell them that what they tell me is an accomplishment of Joe, and I tell them, well, how it's wrong, and they have no way of combating that, then they can't tell me anything else. So tell me why. Tell me why you're voting for Joe. I'm willing to listen. It's not that I'm not. It's just that you can't. I know a little more about it than you do. I'm not saying I know everything, because I don't. But at the same time, it's like, man, I mean, yeah, we saw this. We saw that picture too, Owen County.
I mean, Miranda.
But yeah,
we're living.
Go back and watch the beginning of the video. Yeah,
we're living in a country where they're trying to take guns away from us.
They say they're not, but
they're not, but they're trying to. And our former president is getting shot at.
Well, and then they say they're trying to ban assault rifles. That's what Joe Biden keeps saying. But the problem is the left is defining an assault rifle as anything where you pull the trigger once, a bullet comes out. That's not an assault rifle. That is a pistol, a 22, anything. They say an AR-15, but that's not an assault rifle.
And
it's a standard. Yeah, it's an Armalite rifle. It's not. But that's the thing. They twist wording. I've said this forever. They twist everything to make it sound good, but in the end, it's not. I mean, just look at the freaking Biden, campaign plan.
A man's life was saved.
Yeah.
Because of Secret Service's fast actions.
The ones who were maybe not in on it, maybe at least. So
yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying that man's life was saved today.
Yeah.
Will it be saved tomorrow?
Yeah, I hope so. That's upsetting and worrisome, and who knows if it's going to get better or worse, especially if he was to win. It's a terrifying world for sure. Oh, if he wins, it's going to be a lot worse.
Oh, it's going to be horrible.
I mean, last time they kind of screamed at the sky and they rioted and stuff, but now a lot of them think that he's Hitler now, more so than they did before. They will try to probably overthrow the White House, like
I wouldn't be going anywhere in November, maybe even
December. Not only that, people forget this too. Everybody wants to go on about, the right, they tried to overthrow the government on January 6th, which again is very debatable.
They'll try to do it again.
Go back and look at May 20th, I think May 20th, 2020. May 20 something is in that week.
Yeah.
Leftists, Democrat voters literally stormed the White House and tried to breach the fence around the White House. They were obviously stopped
that night.
Trump had to go into the bunker, and leftists and Democrats made fun of him. Oh, he's a scaredy cat. He had to go to the bunker. But the media did not put that on a pedestal like they did January 6th. Nobody wants to talk about May 20th, 2020. Look it up. I'm not lying. I mean,
and that's the media and all of this. Like they
Go ahead, Miranda.
Let it out. Come on.
Talking points, and they just have to go with it because they're, I don't know what kind of blackmail, or maybe it's just the money. That's so good. Like, why do they lie for these people? Can they not
what
see
you just said?
Well, they're evil. Number one,
you just said it.
Money, power, maybe the child sex ring thing we've talked about before.
Money,
there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, obviously we're sending all this money to Ukraine so they can launder it, put it back in their pockets. Why do you think that even right-wing people are voting for it? Because they can,
right there.
These people go into office and they make more money in office than they ever did before going into it. You're not supposed to make money in office. You only get like so much of a salary, but yet you come out with millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't make that much just working in Congress. There's got to have something on the side.
And what you just said there, Eric, sounds like an alibi.
And don't tell me that they sell books. You can't make that much money selling books. No, It's got to be something more dirty and nefarious. I'm sorry. Owen County weather update said they couldn't impeach him. They couldn't put him in prison. They couldn't shoot him. What's next? A missile?
That's what I'm asking myself.
I don't know. I mean, don't put it past him at this point. And Horton said, not me, not looking at on Google for holsters at this point. He's arming up. I mean, if Trump gets elected, which at this point, again, if they don't cheat, he wins handily. Now, that does not mean stay home on voting day. We have to get out and vote. We have to put, like Trump says, make it too big to rig, so they cannot cheat. It's more and more apparent to me. I used to be a little more on the fence of, did they actually cheat or not? I didn't want to believe it. Nobody does. I get it. But the more this goes on, and everything that's been going on this week with the SAVE Act being blocked in the Senate, Wisconsin and a few other states, I think, trying to overturn some of the stuff that they put in place to kind of allow more absentee ballots and mail-in votes. We got more and more evidence all the time coming out that it was cheated in 2020. You can't tell me this time they're not going to try to do it again. So if they don't cheat, Trump should win handily. And if he does
try to cheat, Eric, they're shooting at him.
You think January 6th was bad? Leftists are going to do far worse. Get supplies, get food, bottle water, buy guns while you can, and learn how to use them and protect yourself and your families. That's all I can say now. I mean, if this doesn't wake you up, I don't know what does.
Stop fucking around.
Kathy, once again, bringing up no pockets. This whole thing was a story at work. Where I guess it was some hypothetical situation because a lot of ladies' jeans sometimes don't have very big pockets or pockets at all. So I guess the question going around the warehouse was to some of the ladies, would you rather have pockets or the ability to vote? Believe it or not, a lot of people thought that they would rather have pockets because they just kind of feel like whatever, our vote don't matter anyway, which I understandably so. But now Pocky's saying, no, screw the pockets. I want to vote. So good for you, Kathy. Get out there and put your vote in there, no doubt about it. Hopefully it's counted correctly.
No, do you have the video of him standing up with his fist?
Yeah, we showed it earlier. I don't know if you remember.
Can you show that again?
I mean, for those of you who are just tuning in, I guess we can kind of rerun this just a little bit here. Before we do that, let's just show the initial incident this is all about here. Trump got shot at during a rally at Butler, Pennsylvania. Here's that video.
We see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. So
the man stands up.
Yeah, I'll show it again.
Yeah.
There's the video where he stands up. Like I said, Secret Service wanted to rush him off right away. Trump goes, if you listen close, and it's hard to hear. I know it's got a not very loud video, but he stands up and he goes, wait.
I love this.
Up the fist and fight. That's what he says here. Fight. I mean,
see this right there, Eric. That is what we need.
Yeah,
that's what we need.
Yeah,
not what we've gotten. What we need.
Yeah, not what the country. It's almost like that line in Batman or what? He's like, not the hero we need or we need right now, but the hero we deserve or something.
The hero we deserve. That is the hero we deserve.
Again,
that's the guy.
And again, I challenge you. Tell me one of his policies that he wants to implement that's evil.
Yeah.
The actual policies he wants to introduce. We did a whole thing last night on the podcast about Project 2025, which is not what Trump supports, and Agenda 47, which is what Trump and the Republicans and GOP support. That Agenda 47, tell me where any of those are a bad thing. Any of them. I challenge you. Tell me. I bet you can't.
I just that blows me away.
Yeah.
It just blows me away.
Which video, Horton? The very beginning?
You okay?
Yeah,
the first video.
The first video. But yeah, I don't know what he's looking for, though. That's the thing. So
he wants to look at something. He may have seen something.
I mean, I guess I can play it again. I mean, it's not a problem. But I don't know. Like I said, here's the first video.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Off every time I see it.
Yeah, I don't know what you're looking for, buddy, but he saw something maybe.
Yeah, he'll point something out to us. But that's ridiculous. That's just
Well,
dumb.
What's insane to me is he stands up for quite a while. The first shot, the second shot hits him, he puts his hand on his ear, and then a third shot happens, and he's still standing. And then he finally drops. It's like the amount of time I understand it takes a minute to register. It does. So you got that element of surprise before it finally clicks. Same with the Secret Service.
Oh, no.
The ones around him.
What makes me mad though is the fact that the Secret Service has been reneged. They've been pushed back. And you know why they've done this? Because of this exact reason.
Okay.
And
I'm just saying, they're gonna.
Gordon sounds like that.
Yes.
He only got 3 shots off before the Secret Service picked him off. So yeah, it sounds like they were ready to go. And like I said earlier in the podcast here, I said that it sounded like maybe the shooter maybe saw the Secret Service and thought that he didn't have much time, and he fired maybe before he was ready, which may explain why he missed with the first shot.
Well, notice
and
the
barely
body
hit him with the
posture of
second.
Trump too.
Well, he's always kind of leaning like that.
Well, he's leaning towards that direction anyway.
Well, yeah, you're probably waiting for him to lean his direction for sure. Maybe you want to shoot him in the face. I don't know.
I'm just saying. Thank God he was where he was.
It definitely lends credence to the theory that, maybe he had to hurry his shot, which is why he didn't get it where it needed to be. If that's the case, kudos to those people who pointed it out to the police and Secret Service, and kudos to the Secret Service who maybe wasn't in on it, who actually did their job and responded accordingly. So
I just wanted to look back on that, Eric, because I just wanted to prove a point that
hold on, let me send this to Eric.
The man stands up in front of his country and does that.
Yeah.
He stands up in front of the country and shows patriotism.
And this was sent to us from Owen County Weather as well. Like this, we also mentioned this a little earlier, where Biden literally said the words, "It's time to put Trump in the bullseye." So that is a reference to a
that is
crosshair.
Very fishy.
I mean, it's like I said, I'm not going to go so far as to say Biden meant it that way. I'm not, because like I said, we've heard similar terminology when it just comes to like, well, we need to, and Biden may have just meant we need to focus on him. But I've showed you clear evidence that it's at least plausible to think that's exactly what Joe Biden meant. Not to mention, Joe Biden was on video back before 2020's election, where we all believe they cheated now, where he was on video and he stated, "We've put together the largest voter fraud organization in history." Now, a lot of people say, oh, he misspoke. He meant to say to combat voter fraud in history. Or did he let it like a Freudian slip and mean it to be, we've got this agency now that can commit fraud and we won't get caught? Which was it?
Eric, we're
crazy over here. Okay.
It just baffles me that causation does not create correlation. You can't say that while looking at that sentence, can you, Miranda?
That's why.
I assume you didn't want me to show this.
I'm not being crazy. I'm not throwing conspiracy. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just saying, when you say stuff like that, and 3, 4, 5 days later, something like this happens.
Well, listen, Matt, I've been saying since the election that it was stolen, right? The media has been saying, no, it hasn't. But for 4 years, we've dealt with a president who's not capable of wiping his own ass at this point.
Yes.
Because of a stolen election that I'm so over all of this.
We're not even talking about
because of a stolen election.
Wow.
We're beyond the stolen election at this point.
But it's still a problem, though, because it's going to happen again if we don't.
It is, because if we don't fix it, it's just going to happen again.
Which is why the Democrats, this week, 198 Democrats voted against the SAVE Act, which would put in protection to make sure there was voter ID requirements in every single state in the country. Why would you do that unless you want to cheat? I mean,
if they would have succeeded today and killed Trump, we would be fucked for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, and
because we would never get another person in there that's willing to fight the way he has against these radical idiots.
Maybe Miranda knows what this means, but Kathy said there's Mabel Miranda's voice. I like it. Bring it out. Before we move on to Jordan's comment here, this is a picture supposedly of the shooter that is not of one of him completely dead. So this
That
is
looks more
potentially
accurate.
now compared to the one that we thought it was. Again, you'd have to severely lose weight before. So the initial report of Mark Violets may not be true, but this one here very well could be true. So
That guy looks
that looks like the guy we
like
saw
the
on the
guy.
ground. Yeah, and so like I said, and obviously he was wearing this this demolition ranch on the back of his shirt. I don't know if that has any significance to it or anything to that effect, but
they're trying to make it into having significance. Demolition Ranch is that YouTube channel we watched before with the guy with all the guns. He's the army.
Tell me this is not a gun control ploy by Biden and the Democrats,
possibly
to try to get Trump to go for
just
gun control.
Opened up a shooting range.
Yeah, that's
Texas.
That's what Horton's saying too. YouTube page dedicated to firearms. Matt, the owner of the page, doesn't deserve to get dragged into it. Yeah,
he does not.
That's not fair. No, it should not happen.
No, it has nothing to do with Matt and what Matt has done. His business dealings whatsoever has nothing to do. I learned more about gun safety and what not to do with guns by watching Matt's channel.
This right
he
here.
also runs a veterinarian
clinic,
and yeah.
Jordan Harrison wrote, hearing that video played back literally is making me sick, but it shows us what this country has become and how we need to change
Jordan,
it.
That's why I wanted to play it again.
I agree. Yeah, I mean,
because it shows you. It shows you. And you know what? That man in the picture, you just don't. You can't tell me that person didn't have radical ideology.
Now, and here's the thing, too.
You can't tell me he didn't. That's why I wanted him alive.
Everybody needs to remember, too, the Second Amendment, our right to keep and bear arms, was not written so we can go hunt or that we can have home protection, which is a big part of it, yes.
Right.
But it was written for the sole purpose to protect against a tyrannical government, which our founders wrote after they had won the American Revolution, breaking away from the king in England. Okay.
Well, you're shooting at the wrong side of the government.
So, knowing that and everything that's going on, it is the citizens of this country's absolute constitutional right and duty to take up arms and go against our tyrannical government if it gets to that point. How close are we to that point?
That's the question, Eric.
I mean, there's a great scene. There's a great scene in the movie A Bug's Life from Pixar where the grasshopper is telling his fellow grasshoppers, the ants outnumber us, what was like 500 to 1 or more than that, even 500 to 1. And if the ants ever figure that out, they're in trouble. The same thing goes to the citizens of the United States. If we ever figure that out and actually rose up against our tyrannical leaders, which they're starting to appear to be that way, they're screwed. The question is whether or not we're going to have the balls and the guts to do that. Hopefully it doesn't come to that point.
I pray it doesn't.
It's terrifying when you really think about it.
It's a terrifying possibility. What you just said there, Eric.
Yeah. Horton just sent us this too. Apparently it's a Demolition Ranch on Facebook responding, what the hell? Because obviously they noticed their logo was on the shirt of the guy who did the shooting. They obviously had nothing to do with this. So anybody who tries to
correlate that with that, don't.
No. If they try to say, well, anybody who follows Demolition Ranch, no. If anybody on the media is telling you that, they're lying to your face already. I'm going to tell you, just like everything else they do, they lie to you. At some point, you stop watching the damn media. Period. If you want real news, and the same thing about Fox, they were pushing that damn Russia collusion hoax again the other day about this upcoming election a little bit. They're not nearly as bad as most, but they're not great either. Okay, they flat out called like Arizona or something for Biden without even waiting on the results in the election in 2020. They also ain't great.
See, that's what kills me is I wanted to know the reason.
If you want legitimate news, Rumble, X with Elon Musk. You got any other good suggestions, Miranda? Like yes, there's a lot of crap on X as well, but you got to know the right people to follow for sure.
Yeah.
It at least has, truthful arguments. You can get both sides on X, if nothing else. Now, It used to be the case. People weren't
So
censored.
so it shows Demolition Ranch saying what the H to what
the
he's
fact
got
that
on
the
there.
guy was wearing the shirt. Yes.
Yeah, it seems to me like the shooter has nothing to do with Demolition Ranch.
Well, he was wearing a
whatsoever.
shirt, and he maybe be trying to bring them into this too, or I don't know. Maybe he just followed the
The
channel
post
and
I
watched them for
seen-
gun tips. You know what I mean?
See, that's the thing.
Someone
See, that's what I'm trying to get at is why.
Well, again, it's probably just one of those things. He watched the channel, maybe liked the channel, but obviously Demolition Ranch didn't condone this. They're just showing people how to properly use weapons.
Or
That's
he
all
was
they were
just
doing.
trying to fit in with the crowd.
Yeah,
obviously, that's what
Yeah.
I think. Miranda.
Morton's right. Social media could use it as a reason to pull his channel from YouTube.
Well, YouTube has already made it hard enough for him as it is, and
because of that reason. Yeah.
So, like,
But
this would
Brandon, do you think that, like Miranda said, do you think it's something for him to blend into the crowd?
That's exactly what it was
that
for.
too.
What I'm saying is the backlash of it all would be just for YouTube to just say no. You know what I mean? And he even said it on his page. He said
that's something a Trump
YouTube
supporter
has
would
been
wear.
coming down on him. He's got some other things going like in the works for.
I mean, a channel that supports guns. That's something a Trump supporter would wear to a Trump rally.
Well, yeah, and they're going to try to be. Oh, it's just a crazy Trump supporter. Didn't agree with Trump's policies either.
No,
I don't care if that's the case or not. It
Yet.
still doesn't make it. I mean, I'm not saying there's not radicals on the right. There are obviously.
There are
There's radicals on both sides, but
Yes, there are.
Trump supporters don't do this shit. They
No,
don't.
they don't. No,
They
they
don't.
don't. They don't.
It's so stupid. The fact that people try to.
Trump is a nice person. Like,
Yeah.
honestly.
Do I think he's
He
perfect?
should not have anybody wanting to kill him.
It really scares me that they're going to try to do this again.
Well, and I've stated many times, do I think the man's perfect? No. Here's newsflash. Nobody is, including you watching this channel. Nobody. All right. But again, the stuff that he does in his personal life,
Are you talking about
Stormy
Trump's personal
Daniels
life?
or E. Jean Carroll, do I have
You
to
would have
agree with
never heard about it.
You probably wouldn't have heard about it either. If he,
never
and
would
he
have
said
heard about it.
like he says, if he hadn't run again, they probably wouldn't even brought it up anyway. He would have been able to. And remember, celebrities in Hollywood and politicians loved Donald Trump before he ran for office. They turned on a dime. Why?
You know
because
what's
he
funny,
ran
though?
against them.
You know what's funny though? Again, nobody's perfect, right? All these celebrities that are saying all this shit about Trump.
Agreed,
How many
Jordan.
of them have been
Absolutely.
involved?
I
in
agree,
shit?
Jordan. It would be sad.
Yeah, she brings up the fact
Be
that it could be
terrible
sad
if
if we have to
That's a
rise
terrible
up against.
possibility.
But yeah, I mean that's what we had to do when we left England. So I mean, people way back in the day got pissed over the tea costing too much.
They threw it in the bank.
But here
threw it
we
in the
are
river.
rolling over, taking this shit. I mean, again, I'm not calling for violence. I would never do that. But I'm just saying there comes a point where in our Constitution, it was made so that we are the ones who govern us, not these politicians who, in a lot of cases, look, Joe Biden may have installed himself, which we obviously think that. How many people actually believe that Nancy crazy ass Pelosi has been getting voted in constantly in San Francisco over and over and over again without any pushback? How many people actually believe that dumbass Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in New York is getting voted in over and over and over again without anybody challenging them and voters going, we're tired of your shit?
Yeah.
Do you honestly believe that they wouldn't throw them out on their ass?
I couldn't imagine living in either one of their districts.
Oh, hell no.
You wouldn't have it. You might as well move at that point. I mean, there's nothing you can do. It's lost.
Well, I'd probably be in jail at this point.
Ilhan Omar's another one.
Laura Loomer
It's just frightening. It chills your nerves.
Again, it goes back to the whole, well, why is the border wide open? Oh, well, it's because, we need to import these voters because actual common sense people in this country would never vote for this shit. So let's put them in states that don't require voter ID laws and make so that illegals are allowed to vote. And they're trying to make that law. They won't say it, but that's what they're trying to do. Again, no, we're the crazy conspiracy theorists who think that they're trying to rig the election. Who knows how long they've actually been doing it? They got away with it in 2020.
Eric,
They've been doing it for a long fucking
They've
time.
been doing this for years.
But no.
These are the same people that's been doing this for decades.
Yeah. I can pull up compilations of Democrats who claim the election was rigged. You know, we can't certify the election results, but they've done it since like, you know, George H.W. Bush and George W. Bush in Florida that one year with like it was Al Gore. They've been doing it for years. But the one time Donald Trump says, "Oh, well, the election doesn't look like it was on the up and up. We should investigate." Nobody looks at it in court, even though they say they did. They never actually took up the case to look at the evidence. They say there was no evidence, but there actually was some. They just didn't want to look at it. You know, they want to say that the right was the ones who, if you dare question the elections, you're un-American and you know it's irresponsible, and you can't only be happy with the election results when you win. That's what Joe Biden said. Well, what the hell do you call the last 20 years that Democrats are doing it?
It just astounds me that we're still swiping this under the rug. You can't swipe something like this under the rug.
Well, there are certain people who are trying not to, like Trump. And the MAGA Republicans, the supposed extremist MAGA Republicans, they're trying to actually push back on these lies and be like, no, we need to combat this. We got to stop this before this gets worse. But the establishment...
I'm still on the incident.
Oh, there's no way you can... No, they're not going to...
I'm not on this. I'm on the fact that they're all firecrackers, all bull crap, baloney.
Yeah.
That's horse manure.
Especially when the first thing you see is Trump go, and then go down.
Horse manure.
That's not a firecracker at that point. I mean... You know, when you hear the, come on. I mean,
but that's what
I'm honest.
It just drives me nuts that they sit there and go, it was just fireworkers. He fell off the stage. Bull.
Now, and we're not seeing a lot of the news coverage that's going on right now because obviously we're on the stream. But in the next couple of days, if you were to, I don't recommend checking out CNN or MSNBC because all they do is lie to you. I've said that, and Fox is they have more meaningful conversations to actually, you know, present both sides of the argument. CNN and MSNBC and NBC and ABC, all they will do is put on people on air who agree with the left-wing Democrat ideology, and they will literally make sure that nobody from the other side comes on the air most of the time. Rarely do they do that. At least Bill Maher, who I don't even agree with on a lot of things, will actually have conservative voices come on his show. A lot of times they make Bill look stupid, which is partially why I like it. But don't be wrong. There are certain things that Bill says I agree with. He's not a complete moron. Sometimes I get aggravated with him because it's like the truth is right there with him, and he doesn't want to see it because he has Trump derangement syndrome. Whenever it comes to Trump, everything Trump does is evil. He flat out said on Greg Gutfeld's show a few weeks back when he was promoting his book, Bill Maher said that it's nothing personal with Trump, even though he did say that Trump tried to sue him at one point for defamation because I guess Bill Maher tried to compare him to a monkey. So is that why you don't like Bill, or is that why Bill you don't like Donald Trump because he tried to sue you and you just don't want to say it? You said it wasn't personal, but is it really? I mean, otherwise you should at least be smart enough to look at this because he's at least smart enough to go, hey, the woke ideology stuff, the radical stuff that the left is doing is going to lose them the election. But he's also the same guy who said, well, Gavin Newsom, I would love for Gavin Newsom to run, even though he flat out said Gavin Newsom would be, he's been not real good for California, and some of the stuff he's done here has not been great, but he's a winner and he can beat Trump. Forget the fact that he would screw up the country. He doesn't care about that. He cares about the fact that he could beat Trump. That's derangement.
They got to have some.
I just seen this thing on X, and it says, "Thank God Elon bought X because right now, what would you get your? Could you imagine if Twitter was still run like Twitter was run?"
Like Facebook and YouTube.
We wouldn't hear any of this stuff.
You wouldn't have seen the videos you would have seen, right? Yeah. And then it would have just been CNN saying he fell off the stage.
And just so you guys know, too, Elon Musk, as I think yesterday, donated to Donald Trump, and he finally endorsed him. And he come out after the shooting and wrote on X, "I fully endorse President Trump and hope for his rapid recovery." So if you wondered where Elon Musk stood, we now know, which a lot of us
He's not the only one.
No, he's not. There's going to be a lot more who come to his side now.
You're going to see a lot more people next couple of days.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can't wait to see what the celebrities start saying.
That's the only words I
like
can
George
describe
Clooney or Eminem or
Eminem will probably make a rap about it where he's shooting Trump in it too.
Probably.
I mean, anybody you see in the next few days
years ago, so that don't matter.
Anybody you see in the next few days who come out and wish that he would have been murdered or died, or don't condemn it by their silence, especially politics. Any Democrat person you follow, or is a representative in your state, or on the federal level, even anybody who does not come out and condemn it, even though Joe Biden did, We all believe that's horse shit based on previous stuff. Again, it's hard for me to buy even when they come out and condemn it, because the last 4 years when they say, "Oh, this, he's an evil human being, he's Hitler," and all this stuff. Oh, but now we don't condemn, or we don't condone violence. It's hard for me to buy it when one night you come out and say it and with words, because you know it would look bad for you politically if you rooted this on.
Yeah, that's why you say
this isn't going to happen that way.
That's why you say you condone it.
Yeah, I mean,
no, there's no, I'm sorry. There's no, we have no place for this in America. No, you're the ones that have brought this on.
Here's
So
I'm just kind of scrolling through. I'm scrolling through X to just find this is not tonight, but this is a special. What's her name here? I want to get the name right here. Stacey Plaskett, a Democrat delegate to the U.S. House of Representatives, at one point once said, accidentally, she said, that Trump needs to be shot. Listen to this.
Not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans. And he needs to be stopped.
Yeah, he said shot. Stop. Freudian slip. So yeah, I mean,
yeah. First of all, what did she say about him having documents on Americans and then sharing them with people?
It was during the whole classified document stuff that supposedly.
Why would that's what they're going to say.
First of all, why? Never mind.
They're going to have word vomit.
Not to mention,
I've ever heard.
Not to mention, it's now come out, by the way, that the classified documents that Trump supposedly had, the pictures you saw of them strewn out on the floor with secret, classified, logos all over the folders and stuff like that, was now planted by the FBI. It's now been confirmed. Yeah. So, again, trying to sway public opinion against Donald Trump.
And is that the Federal Bureau of Investigations that the people that Trump were going to ransack or they get sacked? Am I right?
Well, there's a lot of thought out there that Trump possibly had information because he was the president that could have possibly buried them, and they wanted that information back. And then once hopefully they didn't get it, we don't know. But if they did, they also tried to go that one step further. Don't cross us. We're going to put you in jail.
That sounds like an alibi to me too.
That's wild.
And again, Joe Biden did the same thing with classified documents. He's not seeing any problem with it because he's a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. But you got to remember, there's a difference between Trump and Biden.
There's a lot of reasons here.
Trump was president who actually had classified authority to have them. Maybe now you can argue whether he should have given them back or whatever. Fine, but he had the authority to have them. Biden was a senator and a vice president who never had the authority to have them, but had them dating way back to the time that he's a senator, and he could potentially face penalty for that. Hopefully he will.
Because whatever this is deep, and they're not going to like it. But it's
whether or not Biden gave them back when he should have is not relevant here. It's the fact that he had them to begin with. He never should have had. So yeah, I mean, I'm just kind of, but not.
I think whatever Trump has on them,
it's scared. Obviously something they don't.
They're scared.
This shit to happen.
Yeah.
And whether he has anything on them or not, you can't deny the fact they are terrified of another Trump presidency.
Yes, they are.
Regardless, you can't hide that.
You should ask a question. Why are you so fucking afraid?
Yeah.
Well, look at the measures they're going to.
Like, why? Well,
and outside of a few people that we showed you, Joe Biden obviously has to come out and say something because he's the president. Barack Obama tweeted something not long after that. But outside of that, I'm scrolling through X. I'm not seeing much, condemnation of this from the other side right now.
Like, oh God, what happened?
Yeah, or every single Democratic politician
according to plan.
Yeah, exactly.
I think every single said something about that. Either him or Dan said Democrats is real quiet right now.
Yeah, awful quiet out there on the social medias right now. And don't think I'm just looking in an echo chamber too.
No,
I see both sides of the argument. We're not seeing anybody here. Okay.
Yeah, there ain't no leftists on my For You.
No left activity at all.
Why am I seeing these people like them?
But they were real mouthy about a week or two ago.
The extreme ones are.
That should tell you between that and the 198 Democrats who voted so illegals can basically vote in elections should tell you everything you need to know, regardless of anything else. I mean,
I believe that part.
I know.
Why? Again, tell me why. Tell anybody out there who's watching. Tell me why you support Democrats right now, at all.
Yeah.
Because I can't.
I'm with you, Eric. I just want to hear what they have to say.
And we're not even talking about policies like, inflation and gas prices and, the border issue and the drug, issue and all this sort of stuff. There's all sorts of stuff we can get into policy wise. I'm specifically just talking about this. Like, tell me why. You don't have a good enough reason. You don't. And that's why you're silent. Everybody on the left is silent right now because they're like, well, shit.
Or shit,
everybody would condemn them if they said something about it. So don't talk to me about having the moral high ground. Trump is, no.
It's just how deep does the rabbit hole go, Eric?
Well, and I'm not trying to scare people.
How deep does the rabbit hole go?
But in a way, you should be concerned. A lot of people are asleep, flat out. There's too many people who are asleep in this country, including Democratic voters and even Republican voters. Don't believe that. It can never be.
They just don't care.
Yeah, it cannot be as possibly as bad as it. You're all saying it is. It's not that bad. You can't say that. Wake the fuck up.
If this didn't wake people up, I don't know what did.
And people I know personally have been like, well, why do you talk about politics so much? You didn't used to care about this stuff. No, you're right. I didn't. But
I didn't either.
In this stuff, it's like in The Matrix. We use this comparison all the time. If you've seen that movie, once you're awake and you take the red pill, you can't close your eyes and go back to the illusion of the Matrix. You can't.
No.
So, I mean, I guess in the programming you could have.
No,
but
Eric, that's
in the real world, you can't
analogy.
do that. I can't just turn a blind eye and not see this now. So watch my channel now while you can, because we're one of those channels who don't have a big enough following just yet. We're doing okay for a young channel, but at the same time, we're not getting thousands of subscribers or thousands of views all the time. And that keeps us on the air right now on YouTube.
I do this on my porch.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, we get to a point where maybe we have a bigger channel and we talk like this and tell you the truth. We may get censored and shut down as well. But you know what? I would rather do that than lie to you and hold back the truth.
Yep.
Well,
I agree.
That's a good segue into download Rumble, everybody.
Yeah, which I do plan on eventually. I do eventually want to start streaming over there too, but it's going to take some time.
Harry Sessions just said something.
Oh, no.
About an hour ago.
Okay, let's see what you got here, Brandon.
Harry Sisson, this moron.
Sisson. He retweeted something that JD Vance said. JD Vance said, today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs. That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Now, Harry says, this is a disgusting statement from a sitting U.S. senator. This is not the time for politics or division. Shame on you, JD Vance. I don't know who Savannah Hernandez is, but she says, honestly, Harry, shut the fuck up.
Well, how long is this going to go till we don't have that choice?
No, this is just Harry Sisson. This is Harry Sisson not liking the fact that it looks bad on Democrats. That's all it is.
Yes. Yeah.
And he's pissing his pants because of it. Because even he knows they can't defend this.
No, they can't.
I mean,
and that's the first thing I see right there. Attempted assassination right there.
Did you see it?
Yeah, well, JD Vance is a Republican, and he is one of even Trump's possible VP candidates.
See that right there. See, the Republicans will say it with, but the left will not.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember too, Harry Sisson is also the same guy who just a week or so ago with the president
said that Trump
said that Biden should use SEAL Team 6 to take out Trump and the Supreme Court justices.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to hear anything about the moral high ground from Harry Sisson. Period.
At all.
This is who you're dealing with, guys.
Yeah. This is who you elected.
Well, Harry Sisson's not all.
Harry Sisson. I mean, but the people in Congress, the ones that are just doing the road, and this is what we're at.
Harry Sisson is a paid Democratic shill, paid for by the Biden administration and the Democratic National Convention to spout the lies and perpetuate propaganda. That's all he does. He's an ass kisser.
Yeah.
Beyond that, he got brown all over his nose. Jordan Harrison also wrote, it's so sad I'm seeing on TikTok people are making funny videos saying that you hit the wrong target. It's absolutely making me sick at these young people.
That's everywhere.
That's
I've
the
seen that
Democratic
everywhere.
Party and the left for you. Again, there are. I'm not saying that every Democratic voter is this way.
No.
There are some reasonable
human beings,
Democratic human beings out there that purely vote or disagree on policy.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. If you don't agree,
No.
I understand. I'd like for you to explain to me why.
Why? Yeah, I'd like to know why too.
There are whether it's a loud minority or a vocal majority, we don't really know. But when you get online, the ones like Harry Sisson and the ones who were complaining that they missed the target, those are the ones that are the loudest. So, but again, if something were to happen to Joe Biden, if he died of natural causes, hypothetically, or God forbid he was shot, you would have a lot of people on the right praying for Jill and the family.
See, that's why I hate that they don't have the evidence right now. When that person was taken out, which is don't
get me wrong. Even the shooter, I have some sympathy for. Not the action. I have sympathy for the fact that he believed all this or whatever it was, and he felt that he had to do this.
He felt like he had to do it.
It's still a human life.
Yes.
I don't wish death on anyone.
No,
that's evil.
No, it is. Yep. And but I'm just saying the trail goes cold there.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, but here's the thing. Whether he was paid by somebody to do this or he did it on his own accord, he had to know going into this he wasn't making it out alive.
No.
And maybe
which is crazy. You gonna pay me to die? That's absurd.
Well, again, it could be one of those deals. Well, I'll set your girlfriend or kids or wife up for the rest of their life. You go.
That's still wild.
It's still insane, but it's certain stories like that have happened. It's not just stuff you see in the movies, people. Where do you think they get those ideas for the movies? I mean, this stuff happens in real life all the time. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to think about all these evil things, but it happens. Governments have been pulling the wool over your eyes for years. And now we're in the internet age where the internet's available to where we can actually research this stuff and talk about it and theorize. And now the truth is starting to come out. The veil is being removed from a lot of people's eyes.
But Miranda, you
so
said
hold on 1 second, man.
Okay.
Representative Stephen Woodrow.
Okay.
The last thing America needed was sympathy for the devil, but here we are.
Well, these are
the people I'm talking about, Miranda.
Now, to be fair to Harry Sisson, too, he is at least talking about how the White House just confirmed that President Biden and Donald Trump did speak together this evening on the telephone, I guess. Glad President Biden reached out. It's the correct thing to do. He is right about that. That is the correct thing to do. And let's hope to God it was genuine.
It was the U Spill Team 6 on him. So fuck Harry and his fucking.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, a lot of these Democrats, it's hard to take them at their word when they come out and say this stuff. The right don't say this thing.
I want to know if any of those Democrats in Congress, that the rich ones, those are the fishy ones to me.
They all are.
They're more fishy than before.
Mm-hmm.
There's some reports out there going around. I don't have actual video or footage of it, but apparently that Donald Trump actually sent a text message this evening. I don't know who he sent it to. And it said, quote unquote, "I will never surrender." So take that for a grain of salt.
PGA tour or tour
See,
golf.
That's what I'm telling you, Eric. See, that just pissed him off more.
They said we have lost over.
It pours gasoline on the fire.
Well,
we have lost over 2,000 followers after posting this, which they posted. If you're not voting for Trump, unfollow this account. How do we feel?
PGA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tour golf at PGA Tour. We said we lost over 2,000 followers after posting this, and like I said, they posted, if you're not voting for Trump, unfollow this account. It says, how do we feel? We feel like we just got rid of a bunch of top fillers.
Yeah. And that's the sad thing, guys. Regardless of this, there will still be people who vote for Joe Biden.
Yeah. All right, I'm done with X tonight. This is crazy.
Well, and again, just to kind of reiterate the fact that it's hard to take, Joe Biden and the Democrats, whoever actually does come out and condemn this, at their word when you got Joe Biden saying things like this.
Most importantly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation.
There you go.
So when you say stuff like this, now, and to be fair, I think Trump has kind of said stuff like this about Biden to a degree, but
it's true.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sad.
I mean, the inflation is enough to fucking piss you off.
I think when Trump says that about Biden, it's more about the policies. It's like, he's a threat to your pocketbook. He's a threat to your way of life. If you let him in there, he's going to put things in place that are not conducive to the American way. Biden means it as in he's going to murder you all, which is not true at all. He's going to put you all back in chains. He'll put you all in, in camps. No. I mean,
Aaron brings up a good point. He sent it through our thing. He said, oddly enough, the gunman had an American flag shirt.
Well,
yeah,
we
are
demolition ranch,
oddly enough, and that's what makes me feel like that's a cover.
Oh my jeez, I hope that ain't true. Again, I don't have the actual video of it or anything like that, but according to this Twitter account, Stu Bergure, I think is how you say it. He said, "Holy crap! CNN just accused Donald Trump of engaging in problematic rhetoric for saying fight, fight, fight seconds after he was shot. It's impossible to go lower than that. If CNN said that, fuck all of them. I mean, seriously, I want to see if I can find a video of that in the coming days. But yeah, if they said that."
Yeah, I'm not watching. I probably never watch CNN.
CNN, there's a reason why their ratings have tanked.
Yes, this is
completely. MSNBC ain't fall behind. I mean, most people are wise to their stupid act.
I'm sure. Fight.
Yeah, I want a fight shirt too, with them pumping his fist. I mean, geez, guys. I mean, and that's the other thing too. Democrats don't understand. Some of them don't even realize how much worse it just got for the Democratic Party.
It just got
no idea.
If not over.
I mean, it should have been over before.
Well, it really is now.
Again, it depends on how much they're willing to cheat, or if they're, all that stuff is going to be coming into effect here. But yeah, I mean, come on, man. This is.
What do you mean it's facing the wrong way?
What are you talking about, Aaron?
Aaron said the flag was facing the wrong way.
I don't know.
I mean, an upside down flag was a symbol of.
You'd have to send us a photo, Aaron, if you have one.
Yeah, I need to see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, it's just. I mean, we're kind of just randomly talking at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
The flag is a sign of like
in distress.
Yeah, it's a country in distress, but that's not what he had on the back of his shirt, though.
No, the shirt was from
yeah, the design on the back of his this was the design on the back of his shirt. So it's not enough.
It has a patch on the side of it that is a flag. Yes.
Maybe the flag was upside down. I don't know. It's probably an American flag, just upright, but
yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
but that's on the back of the shirt. On the sleeve of the shirt, there is a flag.
I can't believe that. I can't believe it.
I mean, we're all in shock, and thank you guys for the 34 of you who are watching and was watching this entire show. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Please click that like. Please click subscribe, and definitely comment if you have a thought on this. Please, we welcome the comment conversation. We're just kind of shooting a breeze right now, just kind of take all this in, as I'm sure every one of us are. So if you have anything that you want to mention and bring forth to the conversation, we greatly appreciate it and welcome it. So if we're seeing anything live, we'll just kind of bring it up here, and we'll probably end at some point here. But just have a little fun now. I don't know if you call the whole thing fun. It's kind of a bad choice of words, but we're just kind of.
I like I said in the beginning of the show, though, I can't believe the segue of history that leads to this point. That just baffles me.
And I think it's important to remind you of everything that Trump has said about this before. He said this many, many times, and it's worth reiterating.
They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. It's very simple. I'm not going to let it happen. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. And I just happen to be standing in their way. It's my honor to do so. Thank you. They want to take.
So, yeah, I mean.
Let me put this mildly. That's what pisses me off. Mm-hmm. Is that man has nothing better to do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he could do a lot of things.
He didn't take a paycheck his first time.
I think what you're trying to say is, he has other things he could do, but he doesn't have to be doing this. Saying
he doesn't have to be doing this at all.
I know what you're saying.
He could be retired.
He could be
retired. He could be down
Who's Keith
in
Edwards?
Florida or wherever he's at. I don't know. He owns what? How many golf courses? I don't know how many Trump golf courses he owns. He doesn't have to be doing this. He's doing this for the American people.
Hey, Eric.
I might have video of this. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Who's Keith Edwards?
Don't know.
Well, he said Paul Pelosi survived an assassination attempt. Trump mocked it. Biden called Trump to make sure he's okay. That's the difference.
No.
I think he's referring to Paul Pelosi getting hit with the hammer.
Yeah, from his gay lover.
I don't recall
Not really an
that per
assassination.
se.
I don't think Trump mocked the man for it.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay.
We also got we might have video here. I want to check it out and see of CNN saying "fight, fight, fight" is political dangerous rhetoric. Let's see if that's what this says here.
I do want to say there was one thing that when I watched the tape, I found odd because of all of the heated rhetoric. And that is that after he was hit, former President Trump got up and said, fight, fight, fight. I think what we're hearing from people is that's not the message that we want to be sending right now. We want to tamp it down.
Yeah, I would just know one thing on this.
Boy, they got his ear good.
Talking about, taking words again and twisting it.
They got his ear good.
Saying fight, fight, fight. He's not trying to be dangerous with it. He's just talking about he wanted to show the people there in attendance as well as around the world and the country watching. He's not backing down from this. He just got shot in the fucking head. I mean, you're going to make me, I'm going to lose my shit again. I swear to God.
I don't mean to laugh at you, Eric.
No, I know you're not laughing at me, but it's just, this is the bullshit. It's like he has every right to just to give up and not do this. They've literally, many times before, probably threatened his life. They literally tried to make good on that promise. And the man can't come out and say, fight, I'm fighting for you. I'm standing up. I'm not going anywhere. They just tried to shoot me and I'm not leaving. That's what he was trying to say in that moment.
You know what's funny to me? I'm sorry.
No, Eric, you're all right.
I've just seen a bunch of these TikToks.
What you said there was right.
Of these people who are like, oh, you missed whatever. Your face, your IP, all this shit is, you know what I'm saying? So if somebody comes and sees you and knocks at your door, you then can't whine and complain because now you're in trouble for posting. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because there's just certain shit that you cannot do.
Yeah. Well, and that
you do. Okay, listen. You can tell when somebody's never been punched in the fucking face, because when you get punched in the face, you don't do shit like this. You don't feel so free and like, I say what I want.
The internet has made a lot of people think they're big,
bruh.
Yeah. And they'll say anything online, and when you say it to them in real life, you'll get punched in the face. That's why they say it online.
That's what I'm saying. Like you feel so free to just say shit, and it's like,
yeah. Dave Smith on X. I'm gonna pull up his tweet here. He makes a good point. How the fuck can you say he's literally Hitler and democracy is on the line, but we wish him a speedy recovery and political violence is never acceptable in this moment? If you have been saying any of that insane shit, then at least have the integrity to admit that this is the logical conclusion of your lies.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? It's hard to take. We wish him well.
That's what I'm trying to get at. What he just
over
said
it,
there.
boss.
Yeah.
What he just said there is it. You can't do the deed and then back out of it. Miranda even said the point. I think it was Miranda that said, I'm not positive. You said they're being awful quiet tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're being real quiet.
Interesting. I found another video, I guess, of as they were loading Trump into the secure vehicle or whatever as they were leaving the stage. Apparently, he gives another fist bump, just another angle of this.
Yeah.
So just some new footage we hadn't got a chance to see yet, but it goes on a little further. But yeah, it's just
look at the Secret Service detail. Look
a
at
lot of women in there, by the way, too. There's like 3 women. Look at all 3 of those ladies.
Look at 'em.
Badasses right there.
Well, I'm just saying, look at them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That right there, that is why we have those people.
Yeah.
I didn't see the big, tall, bald guy. He's like, I don't know, the right's favorite guy.
That's why we have those people. And you know what? I just
What time does what time's the UFC fight tonight? Do anybody know?
I was kind of hoping you knew that, Eric.
I don't follow UFC as much as I do pro wrestling.
Baffles me. It floors me. That's the only way I can describe it. It
I
floors
guess this
me.
is an email that was sent out. As I mentioned earlier, it wasn't exactly a text. It was an email that was sent out. I will never surrender. So that's could have come straight from the campaign. I'm sure Trump approved it or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, just defiant as he should be. I mean, again, there are going to be some people who look at him and say, "Oh, he threw his fist up in the air." You know, he was praising Hitler.
Eric,
no, it's not what he was doing.
Eric,
Jesus.
But it's his God-given right.
Yeah.
He can
has the
do
right.
whatever he wants.
Whether these people like him or not, he has the right to run for president as a citizen of this country. He meets the requirements. If you don't want him, you vote him out. Simple as that. But again, we've obviously gone over how the voting, could not necessarily be on the up and up.
That's why I don't know. I don't know if those people are going to vote.
But the people in the government, the establishment, the right, or all the Democrats, the left-leaning Republicans, the rhinos, they don't view that as something that they should allow. They view the Constitution as a threat to their power. So when somebody like Donald Trump runs, they will do everything in their power to keep the American people from getting their say in the matter. Because all that matters to them is their power, their greed, and everything that they want out of life. And screw and damn everybody else who wants to actually have a good thing in this country. Flat out. And they will go to these links at all times to protect it. And you don't even understand the lengths that they will go to. And hopefully now some people will start to understand it just a little bit.
No, just a little bit. You can't get through to them all the way. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I'm not trying to egg you on and make you more angry.
No, dude. It's therapeutic for me. It's good for my blood pressure to get it out.
I'm just saying, Eric, it's ridiculous that I'm not pointing fingers or anything. But I have to say, it's very weird that they've been so silent tonight.
Here's another Democrat, I guess, on X.
Damn, here we go.
Damn, so close. Dr. Karen Pender. Damn, so close. Too bad. Damn it, so close. And now he'll milk being a victim for more votes. I really wish the person had better aim. What a glorious day this could have been. What the fuck? I mean, if you look, not everybody believes like me and is a Bible-believing Christian. That's up to you. You can believe what you want. But if you think demons don't exist, what more proof do you need than this little tweet
hold
right
on
here?
Hold on a second. Eric, I want you to freeze that image right there.
What is that?
Look at how many likes she had.
How many likes she had? You talking about the vaccine
likes.
stuff?
No, likes.
Oh, likes.
She has likes on
One?
her post.
Two.
She had 2 likes.
Yeah. Again, maybe the vocal minority, whatever. But
the man that left, boy, they're really drawing a crowd on social. I mean, look at those 2 likes she's got right there.
Yeah. I'm tempted to look her up, see how many followers she had.
I'm just saying. This
Let me see here.
I'm just saying this is it. It's just so dumb.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so dumb.
Yeah, couldn't find her.
It's
She's
so
probably
dumb.
Probably not well known enough to actually. Dr. Karen, yeah, don't find her.
But like I said before in the beginning of the show, if he would have been standing on the other side of that podium, we'd be having a different conversation tonight.
Oh, maybe depending on where his body was and the bullet. Yeah, I mean, very possible.
A very different conversation tonight.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, you talk about CNN and downplaying the with the headlines and not telling the truth. Here's NBC News earlier today. Secret Service rushes Trump off stage after popping noises heard at his Pennsylvania rally. So again, not telling the truth.
That's not telling the truth. But why do they have to say the popping noises? How about shots fired?
Like I said, they're going to say they didn't want to say what actually happened until we knew for certain. But again, we all knew what it was the moment it happened. I hate the fact that they try to downplay it.
You can't but that's
if it was Biden, let's switch this a little bit. If Joe Biden was the one on the podium or Hillary Clinton, and let's say it was just a firecracker, even let's say it was just that, right wing, nut job tries to take out, left, Democratic leading, presidential candidate for the presidency. They wouldn't have even waited. It'd have been out there before the firecrackers stopped, popping. Let's not
I can't believe
beat around the bush here.
Where is the press in all this?
They're doing their own thing.
Doing what we're saying. They're covering.
But not that press. I'm not talking about that press.
Like Trump's press?
I'm talking about like like they downplay. Oh, it was nothing. Oh, it was nothing. This is not nothing.
Yeah. Have you not figured out that the press is paid off basically at this point?
Oh yeah, I'm agreeing with that too. I'm saying I just don't. It floors me.
I think you're just kind of overwhelmed with the thoughts and stuff.
I'm back to the same comment again and again because that's what it is.
I saw one guy write or say F. Keith Olbermann. What did he write? He's a fucking moron too. Let's see what he had to say. If I can pull it up.
Brandon, Eric is going through name after
He's going
name
through it right
at
now.
this point. He is going through name after name right now to see what they're saying, and it's okay. I love it. It's perfect. It's not, and you know what? You can't get written off for this. You know why? Because Eric's telling the truth.
Begging y'all to carry like this. Yeah, he's retweeting. He's retweeting and saying stupid stuff on his X account. Olbermann retweeted somebody named Colin Robinson who said, "I'm begging y'all to care like this when it's a third grade classroom instead of an ear." Another guy said, "I doubt it." Joe Biden sent the orders. This guy said, "I doubt it, but as long as it was an official act, we're all good, though, right?" No, not true. I guess somebody wrote, "The political consequences of this assassination attempt will be immense, and they will." Well, I guess I can pull it up. They will benefit Donald Trump, who just responded to being shot in the exact same way that Teddy Roosevelt did.
Yes.
Olbermann wrote, "This is totally inaccurate, by the way. Roosevelt was shot as he arrived to give a speech in Milwaukee in 1912 and stayed and spoke for an hour, though the bullet was still in his chest. He then lost to Wilson, in electoral college votes." But again, why are you even trying to justify this at all? In my opinion,
that's crap. Tabloid crap. Anyways,
Keith Olbermann's an idiot.
Yeah,
don't follow him either.
But Miranda, I'm just at the point where I'm still shocked they shot at him.
Well, welcome to the world you're living in now, buddy.
I'm surprised. You know what? I'm surprised the Secret Service let them get a shot off. Honestly, they had multiple.
That's what I don't understand. That should never happen.
If Dan Bongino said weeks ago that Secret Service and the director of Secret Service needs to be investigated. So maybe it was a setup.
That's what I think.
Maybe he needs to get all his.
And they're going, you know what I'm going to say about that right now? Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. We can't, you don't think that's not the case. There was one shooter acting on it. We don't know. Again, we're not saying it happened.
Conspiracy theory.
It's not about coming up with, lame brain theories or whatever just because we want to make something fit in a certain narrative. Okay, it's not about that. It's about you got to at least question everything you're being told, because what you're being told is not the truth. Period. That may not be the case about Secret Service being in on it or whatever. It may not be, but you need to ask the question. That's part of being smart.
But they were requesting more officers, so if they didn't have enough people, maybe they couldn't get all of them.
I can't imagine Joe Biden and Trump having a conversation and it being cordial.
Yeah,
okay, so I guess
that's what
I'm at. Well, and that's, I don't know, maybe again, who knows how long that conversation lasted, what was said.
Rivals.
I don't know.
I get that.
Apparently what everybody's mad about Keith Olbermann, though, apparently, I guess Biden HQ on Twitter, which is, again, a shitty ass, political thing.
There's always
actually ran by the Biden administration, so keep that in mind. So they're
who are these people?
Biden administration HQ says that Trump says he's been treated worse than Abraham Lincoln, who was assassinated. And then Keith Olbermann at one point said, "There's always hope." This is an old tweet, but again, the left want this to happen, and it's obviously
I've never seen Trump say that.
Well, he's not insinuating he was worse than him who was assassinated. He was just talking about how Abraham Lincoln started was helping with the Republican Party and would get vilified for the things that he did for the party and things like that, and in politics, and Trump was getting vilified for the same sort of thing. That's all he means.
Yeah, okay. And that press release was delivered in Ohio, right?
Oh, I guess that video, it was a long time ago, whenever it was.
It was in Ohio, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, well, isn't that around the area where Abraham Lincoln?
I'm not positive, but
I mean, I'm
maybe.
just saying, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, the Midwest.
Yeah.
And
Well,
yes,
I don't know.
Kathy, they were denied for more security.
Oh yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. That apparently the Biden administration turned down, if the reports are true, more Secret Service protection for Donald Trump when it was requested. We know for a fact that the Biden administration turned down the Secret Service protection for Robert F. Kennedy, we know that for sure. So
fishy.
If they also did that for Trump, and now this happens, make you go,
That is fishy.
Use your brains, people. I mean, this isn't.
Brandon, Brandon says it all the time. That is wild.
Wild.
Nice.
That is
for sure.
wild.
Wild.
Well, it's wild that was allowed to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's strange that this happens right around that time period.
Yeah, I mean, again, I know
will say this.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
I have never paid attention to politics as much as I have in the last 10 years of politics. I think
quietly, I've been trying to get him involved.
Just not my thing.
Yeah,
that's what I said too, Kathy.
And it's just, at first it started off with what I assumed was a joke when he first said he was running for president. It was like, all right, well, that's fine. But then he won, and it was like, nah, this is about to get interesting. And I think that's what it was for me.
About what he did.
It was interesting to see somebody who has no political background not only run, but then win and become president and do the job that he did.
And do you remember that night?
If you have a politician, a career politician, who has been back in office, and now you see like the biggest dynamic and difference between the two. I don't think nobody would have paid it this close to politics if it wasn't for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And Miranda, do you remember that night? Do you remember that night when Trump beat Hillary?
No, I don't, because I went to bed thinking Hillary was going to win. When I woke up the next morning, I was in pure shock.
I remember it because I watched the whole thing. Okay. They were silent as the grave.
Well, it was funny to watch him slowly crumble on CNN, MSNBC, going, "Oh shit, he's actually doing pretty good." And then once they realized it was over there, it was
silent. And you know what? There were people crying.
What was funny when we got to work,
they threw a tantrum.
Why though? It's like, I mean, I know.
And you
why,
know what?
but...
And you know what? In the night Trump lost, what did right people do?
Well, they say, well, they stormed the Capitol.
They stormed the Capitol.
But no, I mean,
a lot of us got kicked off of Twitter because we were saying the election was stolen.
They said it was stolen.
Go look up a guy named Ray Epps.
But it was.
Yeah.
Tell me it wasn't instigated. Okay.
But it was stolen, Miranda.
I know, but they're still saying it
I'm
wasn't.
at the point where it was because of the actions that have led up to today. That's where I'm at right now.
Talking about the actions that led up today, and I know we're a little late in the show, but I thought it'd be kind of fun, well, at least educational, to show this 2-minute montage of Democrats calling for political violence over the last 8 years, to kind of drive the point home of what this gunman may have actually been listening to and believed.
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be. People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless.
When they go low, we kick.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
Biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized to the right.
I thought he should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He came down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said, if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face.
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Look as his character is stabbed to death.
Where is John Wilkes Booth when you need him?
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
A Missouri state senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that on both levels, that this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
If you think we're rallying now, you ain't seen nothing yet.
So,
Any questions?
Yeah. Again, why are you voting for Democrats? Those were all Democratic celebrities. You name it. Madonna, Johnny Depp, the ones I mentioned earlier, we didn't see in the earlier video. There's proof of it right there. Don't get me wrong. I still like watching some of the movies these people are in. I don't know why I still continue to support such crap.
I don't watch movies they're in.
I'm getting to that point.
Well, every part of me wants to believe that anybody that does not want Donald Trump in the White House or that wants him dead has something to hide. Are they all pedophiles? Are they all guilty of it?
Oh, they've got
I don't know.
something. They've got there is something. There's something going on. Today is just living proof of it.
Yeah,
What has transpired today is fact.
Most of those people in that video were the leaders of the Democratic Party. Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden was in there. There's others who've said things that were not in that video even included. And they want to talk about Trump with the violent rhetoric.
I'm just not pointing fingers, but it's getting harder every hour.
Yeah, I mean,
what now?
It's just more and more shit's coming out.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm trying to refresh like crazy just to kind of talk about stuff. But
There's a video of
every
like
hour
right
of this,
before the
Eric.
shooting, a bunch of people are yelling, "He's got a gun! He's got a gun!" Before he
yeah,
starts
there was actually a video. I guess I missed it a while ago, but
Oh.
just basically kind of what we already covered, where there was people there who were trying to tell police.
Bro,
that there was
somebody,
no
yeah,
gunman.
somebody at the Secret Service or whatever. We need to
I
have a
just can't
conversation.
believe they'd shoot at him. That is crazy.
Yeah, and look, and I
Tim
know.
Pool said-
Okay, yeah.
Tim Pool says, "If Trump can take a bullet for you, then you can take the time out of your day and go and vote for him."
Yeah, I mean,
hell, I'd vote for him twice.
I would if it was allowed. I mean, we know Democrats have dead bodies voting more
I was
than
about to
once.
say,
We don't want to cheat.
But when we want to do things
my
by
dead
the
grandma
rule book.
voted for my dad grandma voted for Joe Biden, so
Yeah.
I'm just being. Listen to me. My cousins are left. Okay,
Oh.
they are.
They
They're
don't want out
very left
anybody.
people. But let me tell you something. They texted today in our group chat, and they said that they do not condone that. They
Well,
said
good.
that's ridiculous.
As they should.
And you know, I agree with them. And I told them, I said, yeah, it's crazy. This is the world we live in.
That's why I
mean,
think
said-
there are good, level-headed people on the Democratic Party. There are.
Yes, there are. There really are. And I just, it saddens me that they have to feel like they have to say that.
Yeah. Well, it's like at the same time, I understand what you're saying, but like we've had to go through those hoops for the last 8 years. Like we
And
have to
they
sit there and
argue
say,
with
well,
me
we're
till
not
they're
actually
purple in the
racist.
face.
We're not this because that's what the left has been trying to perpetuate right wing
And they'll
conservatives
argue
as.
with me purple in their face. And you know, I told them this. I said, that's what
And
you
then
want
the
to
hair.
do with your life.
Yeah.
That's
So-
what you want to do with your life, and that's fine. And that's fine. I get that. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. That's why this country was made the way it is.
We just got to get back to a place in this country where we can have a civil conversation about our disagreements.
Yes.
And that's the way it should be. Now, we're not always going to agree, and you know, there's going to be tug and pull in politics. That's the way it's always going to be,
But
unfortunately.
we have gotten to a point politically where we have armed gunmen.
The problem with that, though, with being civil in politics, the problem is that only works when both sides choose to do that.
to do
And
that.
right now,
they're not doing that.
The left ain't doing that. The left have gone so radical. Even I mean,
Yes.
Bill Maher, again, like I said, even though I don't agree with everything he says, he's even openly admitted the left has gone so far left, he hasn't moved. The left has gone so far crazy, you can't have a civil conversation with them because it's either they get their way or the temper tantrum and they try to do whatever they can to get their way. You
go
can't
back,
have that conversation.
You go back a couple years ago, like before all the radical leftists got in there, okay? And you look at a Democratic with a Democratic campaign stop, okay? They'd have the American flag behind them. They'd act like there'd be civil. There'd be people that support them. There'd be all this kind of stuff. There would be. Now you look today, there's hardly anybody there, and the ones that are there are batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And you look at a Republican rally, and you got thousands of people there.
Well, there was a great video that was going around at one point too. This is back during like the 2016 election, I think.
Yes.
Where there was a black man was a Democrat, and he was terrified to go over into the Donald Trump line or the Trump rally line, afraid that he was going to get spit on or treated horribly or whatever it might be. The reporter who was interviewing him at the time took him over there, and he was pleasantly surprised that the Trump supporters were like giving him hugs, was welcoming him. Hey, if you want to come into the rally, we'll let you sit with us. Being overly nice to him, and just be like, hey, we care about you. If you want to come in, we'd love to, have you sit with us, and just very cordial.
But that's
he said afterwards he was completely stunned because all he's been told is how Trump supporters and Trump himself is a complete racist.
Yeah,
and he was flabbergasted.
See, that's what the left has done. The left has filled these people's minds with so much crap.
Yeah.
To the point where they feel like there's no way to go back.
Kind of ripping on an old Obama poster.
I love that. Yeah, that's great.
Why not? Let's go for it.
And let me tell you something. The fact that he stood there and did that.
If you had any questions about his character,
no shit. I mean,
it makes you really think about all the stuff they say about his character, the E. Jean Carroll stuff, the Stormy Daniels. How much of it's bullshit, first of all, because we obviously know there's things in the cases that were not on the up and up. E. Jean Carroll didn't even remember the incident or what she wore. What she said she wore was not even in existence at the time. Stuff with Stormy Daniels, all this stuff, So all the stuff they say to you about his character over the years, it really makes you think about how much of it is actually accurate.
It's a free country.
Yeah. Well, for now, I mean,
it's a free country we're living in right at the current moment.
Yeah, let's hope so. But if it's not, we're going to have to do something about it. So that's all I know.
I'm just saying. It baffles me that this is where we're at today.
Oh yeah.
Again,
hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
Elon said that before being put in charge of protecting the president, she was guarding a bag of Cheetos. She's from Pepsi Cola.
Okay.
The head of the Secret Service.
Okay.
She got the job in September of 2022. So under Biden. And she's the one that will not let him have more Secret Service.
So a Biden appointee.
Yes.
The plot thickens.
From Cheetos.
See what Tracy said.
Yes, I was going to say that. Tracy Beans has found her way back to Trump. She wasn't going to vote for him. Again. She was mad at him for all kinds of things.
Well, it's funny. Kathy says, I could see Trump say close, but you kind of missed. Didn't Ronald Reagan do that? Well, it wasn't a gunshot when it happened to Ronald Reagan. He was giving a speech, and I guess a balloon popped. It was like an event.
Oh, yeah.
And he paused his speech and went, "You missed." So,
Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a Democrat, was he not?
What about him?
Ronald Reagan was.
There's a guy I
ran Democrat.
When I first started playing.
No, he was Republican.
He's Republican.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Perfect example. They shot at Reagan, right?
Oh yeah, point blank.
Did he make a lot of changes to America?
A lot of people in Republicans and conservative circles believe he was one of the better Republican presidents of all time.
Okay, there you go. He won California, did he not?
I believe that. I believe the 1 year he got elected, he won every state but one. I couldn't
Correct.
tell you what one it was.
But the state he did win was California. I
believe at the time
correct.
he did. Yeah.
Me and my dad have talked about this from time to time. The Ronald Reagan incident and what happened today. all these presidents that have had this happen have gone either had great terms or they've changed things to America.
Hope so.
But I'm just saying, Donald Trump did his first term, did he not? His campaign slogan, "Make America Great Again."
I believe he did a lot of good things. I do. I mean,
okay. That's my point. These people that do these things are people that are scared of change.
Yeah, well, and they don't want the change he's wanting to implement.
That's right.
That's the thing.
What was it? What was it? JFK said something about communism. He went on about communists.
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
He went on a speech. He went on a speech about a week in Fort Worth about how they're going to change communism in America. They didn't want communism in America to be bad. Shot by a communist, conspiracy-wise, shot by a ultranationalist Cuban, Oswald.
Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald.
I'm just saying. You know where I'm going with this. I'm just saying. You got the same segue here. You got the same segue of these presidents that are all trying to change and make great.
There's a commonality there. They're all trying to do good for the country, and
yes,
they're the ones who get shot at or taken out.
Taken out by
every
by
one of
someone
these
that
people,
is not by nameless.
What, Brandon?
For every one, video or meme you see or caption of, he missed the wrong fucking person, whatever, you get a bunch more of, he's dodging cognitive tests while I'm dodging bullets.
Now, apparently, Libs of TikTok just tweeted a photo of, obviously, we saw earlier of the shooter that was taken down. She's now saying, according to the New York Post, the shooter is ID'd as Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. So that may be more accurate at this point. Now that we've had a little time. The first guy we reported, like we said at the time, may not be the accurate name. This may not be the accurate name either, but if it is, this is we're finally getting some more information maybe about who the shooter actually was. So Thomas Matthew Crooks of Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. So, and that's the last I'll say of that asshole's name.
God, I hate that I have the name Matthew now. So,
but
okay,
to kind of wrap it up here, unless Miranda's got more to say. I know she kind of walked off, but since we're getting about 2.5 hours in, we might end it here. But I'll end it on this note here. I found this image of again, you don't have to believe like I do, but you've got to start to wonder whether or not there's some divine intervention here a little bit, at least, because, I mean, like I said, millimeters away. Millimeters, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you look back in the Bible, there's a lot of leaders that were chosen over the periods of time by God himself that were not always righteous people. They also had sin in their lives like all of us do. But that does not mean that God cannot use them in amazing ways. And in order for America to heal, I personally believe that Donald Trump is the best candidate to vote for this November when we go to vote for what's good for this country moving forward. So believe what you want to believe. But I personally believe there could be a hand of divinity involved here. And if that's the case,
I guarantee there is.
You got to at least walk away with some comfort in that. So that being said, I think we're going to end the stream tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. Pray for America. Pray for Donald Trump. Pray for all of our leaders, even if we don't agree with them, because the Bible tells us to do so. So, and again, you don't have to believe like I do, but it's just a good thing to be doing to begin with. So unless you guys ain't got anything else to add, I think we'll end the stream tonight, if that's all good.
Yeah,
Thank you guys for joining us with all of our rantings and righteous anger here a little bit. Please follow us on the channel, comment below, hit the like and subscribe, and definitely tune in next Friday. We'll probably have more to talk about this by then on our Dragon's Den podcast number 17, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the channel here as well. And until then, guys, take care and absolutely
prayers, President Trump.
Stay safe, everybody.
Yep.
Exactly.